This is a UTV 44 Sports production. The UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Subway.
Round one of the 6A playoffs tonight here on UTV 44, and it's a matchup between Region 3 and Region 2. Opelika, the 3 seed in Region 2, coming in with a record of 7-2, going up against Daphne, coming in with a record of 9-1, the number 2 seed in Region 2. Good evening, I'm Jim Cox, my partners Dan Brennan and Vic Lockett. Playoff time, always looking for those big stars that you see shine at this time of the year, Dan. And for Opelika, if they're going to have a guy shine, he's got to be on the defensive side of the football.
They've got a great defense. It's big and it is fast too, and it's led by Tori Agee. Agee is a big kid that will play tackle, defensive end. He runs very well. He's already committed to Vanderbilt, so not only does he do well in the classroom, I'll just spell it out for you, a 4.2 student. Wow. He's got good bloodlines because his daddy was Tommy Agee, who was a fullback for the Auburn Tigers back in the day. All right,
this Daphne team, Vic, comes in, and they're great on defense as well, but offensively, 40 points a game, and that 40 starts with a 4, kind of like Daphne's offense does.
Yeah, TJ Yeldon, he's their utility man, and he'll do a lot of things for them. I mean, you can see right there, he's winding up the pass. He'll pass in the football game, but he's mainly featured as a running back. Check, he's got size. Check, he'll make you miss. Check, he's smart. So look for him to show up in many places tonight.
Yeah, look at that. He's going to go over 2,000 yards on the season tonight. You would guess 27 touchdowns on the year, having a huge year. Interesting matchup. You got the Daphne area going up against the Montgomery area tonight here on UTV 44. Stick around. Kickoff next between Daphne and Opelika here in our UTV 44 Game of the Week, brought to you by Subway. Get a good look here at Jubilee Stadium as we get ready for our kickoff tonight here between Opelika and Daphne. Round 1 playoff matchup, 10 weeks in the books, and the immediacy, something I'm sure all the players are feeling right now. Vic, this is no thinking back about the last 10. You got to be thinking about tonight.
You got to be thinking about tonight because this is put up or put the pads up. I mean, there is no tomorrow. All the cliches from Rocky and whatever you want to think about, Dan.
Yeah, and it's a great matchup, too. And the one thing about these playoffs early on is you're not quite sure about your opponent because you're not quite sure how the regions match up.
Right.
Are they as good as your region? You look at their record, it says one thing. One thing we noticed about this team, Opelika, 6-0 on the road with a win at Prattville.
Yeah, they won at Prattville, they won at Dothan, and they won at Carver Montgomery, all playoff teams. Region 3 was won by Central Phoenix City, Auburn in number 2, Opelika 3, and Dothan 4. Of course, Region 3 matching up against Region 2, so you've got McGill going up against Dothan tonight, and you've got Daphne matching up against Opelika, our game here tonight, then Auburn and Fairhope and Foley in action tonight as well. Let's go down to Pat Greenwood on the sidelines.
Oh, Jim, you were alluding to it in the fact that this is not your typical first-round matchup because, Daphne is so good. They're better than the number 2 seed. Opelika better than the number 3 seed. They both just got into tough divisions. Combined record between these two teams, 16-3. So talking about a great first-round matchup, that's what we're going to be looking at tonight.
A great history with both these teams, too. Of course, Daphne's much more recent, Jim.
Yep.
With the 2 state titles in the last 10 years, but Opelika...
Including last year, defending 6A champion.
Defending champs, and their only loss in 24 games to McGill-Tulane a couple of weeks back, but Opelika, a long-time, strong 6A team in the state of Alabama.
Absolutely. Opelika's losses this year coming to Central Phoenix City, 8-2 on the year, and Auburn 8-1. Those the only 2 losses. As Dan alluded to, the only loss for Daphne was that loss to McGill-Tulane and snapped their 24-game winning streak. And you just you take a look at how Opelika was able to get here, and we look things off. They lost week 2, Central Phoenix City, who went on to win the region, and then they got the shutout win, but that big one was at Prattville. They were up by a score of 13 to 7, and then Prattville came back and led 14-13, and then a 38-yard field goal at the Horn.
At Prattville
to win it. Prattville in that game did not get a first down in the second half until midway through the fourth quarter. They had 4 straight 4-and-outs, so that tells you about the defense a little bit of this Opelika team. They beat Dothan, of course. Then you see the rest of their schedule there as they finished out. Their only other loss, as I said, came at the hands of Auburn, who's 8-1.
And I think what we're going to see tonight is the defense really is the strength of this team.
And it better be against TJ Yeldon.
You're right. And, as I told you guys earlier, I was looking over the stats. I mean, there's not anybody or one person on that defense that's got a whole lot of tackles. So they must play together and must play as a team. And I was kind of surprised to see a couple of those scores where somebody hit 35 on them. But, man, you never know how the game turned out.
That's right. And what turnovers or what happened exactly.
Yeah, sure.
Jonathan and Torin McGaster are each back deep with TJ Yeldon, and we'll see if Will Black, who's got a strong leg, who he kicks it to.
The winds died down a little bit. It was really blowing out of the north earlier, which would be right in Opelika's face.
Yeah, the flag is definitely dropped off.
It was straight out when we got to the stadium.
They pooch kick it on the far side. Fair catch called for. And that's Horace Johnson, the starting wide receiver, makes the fair catch call. And so you see TJ Yeldon, his effect there on the kickoff. And here's Daphne. We talked about it. All the numbers they've scored, 41 points on the season. They only lost the game here on UTV 44 at McGill. And TJ Yeldon, 100 yards in each one of those games, including 105 against that Satsuma win with just 3 carries, and against Robertsdale he had 101 with just 7 carries. So you see Daphne has had a lot of big wins this season as Yeldon starts off at quarterback and hands this one off, and McGaster breaks it around the right side. He's got a first down and up the near sidelines. McGaster inside the 30, inside the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds and right at the 20-yard line as Jonathan McGaster with a 32-yard run to open things up for Daphne.
Direct snap to Yeldon, all eyes on number 4.
And he's a huge decoy, and watch the defense just follows him over there, I bet, and except that one player. He makes a miss there, and he gets around the end and then turns on his speed. His guys got some blocking over there for him. Lucky they got him pushed out there. 21st carry on the season for McGaster, and now Fleeton in at quarterback, and he looks to throw, sends it on the far side, completes to Sane, and Sane is hit, and he's going to be down to about the 11.
I know what they'd like to do is get Fleeton involved a little bit with some short passes, Jim, early in this game, so they have him available, so his head's in the game, and he's got the confidence to make some throws if he has to.
There you see the starting lineup brought to you by Greer. Sane with his 22nd catch on the year. Up front, you see the big fellas that open up the holes for TJ Yeldon, 27 touchdowns on the year, 1,921 yards rushing, and Horace Johnson and Jonathan McGaster, the other receivers. Yeldon with his first handoff, and he's hit up the middle and driven back on second down, so it'll bring up third and short coming up for this Opelika defense on the year. They only forced 5 turnovers, which I thought was interesting, 3 interceptions and a couple of sacks. A.G. Dan highlighted him. He's got 4 sacks. Tommy Davis, the linebacker, 49, their leading tackler. He'll get after it. And then the best player on the defensive side, Jamarlo Alford, number 90. He started since he was a freshman. He's got 6 sacks on the year. Their DBs are small, but they are playmakers for Opelika. 3rd and 2. You like 4 to get it here?
I'd like 4 to get it here.
He does. Cuts it back, and he's going to be hit, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down. And 4th and about 1 coming up here for the Daphne Trojans.
True to form, Yeldon just took that little handoff there. He sets you up for the little fake. He's fleet of foot as well, and makes the first man miss, but the defense playing together had some help over there.
Looks like they might send Ryan Anderson in as the big package, the jumbo package, along with Preston Conley will come in as well.
Okay, you can bet they're going to follow those guys.
Looks like they're going to try to go to the short side of the field with Yeldon in the Wildcat. He'll take off on that side. He's got the first down to the 6.
Straight ahead, no shake and bake there.
No, he knew what he needed to get. He knew that's where his blockers were. That was pretty simple. Opelika pretty much knew it was coming too, just could not stop at that time.
Yeah, that's something a back, it usually takes time to learn, but he's already got it. Don't be indecisive with it. You know what you need to do. Go ahead and do it real quick right now. Put your foot in the ground and go.
TJ hit And that was Agee making the big penetration.
Yeah, that's his second time, Jim, being a part of the ball, and he's not taking long to introduce himself to T.J. Yeldon as you take a look at Torrin.
Stan said going to Vanderbilt, 4.2 GPA for that young man.
That's something.
Yeah, he can read a book. I'm sure he probably helped the coaches coaching his teammates.
Quiz him on some chemistry in between plays. And he's going to the SEC. That's a fantastic story. Again, his dad, former Auburn fullback Tommy Agee, has a couple of Super Bowl rings with the Cowboys.
Yep. Second and goal. Play action. Rolling out. Fleeton looks for Sane. He's got him. Touchdown Trojans. Fourth touchdown of the year for Chris Sane and the 10th touchdown pass for T.J. Fleeton.
Yeah, credit the coaches there. That's a good call. They just faked the sweep to one side and boot him back over there.
Yeah.
You know, when you got Yeldon going
That's
that way,
exactly right.
He's going to get at least 8 of the defensive guys falling.
You're exactly right. It's not just it's just not a play action. It's a play action to T.J. Yeldon.
Yeah.
That freezes everybody.
Brandon Roberts on for the point after. An impressive drive for Daphne, 63 yards. And the big play was made by Torrin McGaster. High snap. Roberts gets it, but we have a flag.
There's a flag on the play.
Let's see if this will be good or if they'll move it to the kickoff. He's the good one.
Offsides against the Bulldogs. We will replay the down.
So they decline it so they don't lose any yardage and just kick it from the same spot where the kicker is normally used to kicking those PATs. So we just basically have a do-over.
Roberts. And the kick is good. 7-0, exactly 3 minutes in. Daphne, 9-1, ranked number 3 in the final polls in 6A. They're on top 7-0 over Opelika. UTV 44 Game of the Week brought to you by Subway. It's round 1 of the playoffs here. And Daphne early on has the band happy with the 7-0 lead as they march it right down the field and take the lead. And now Opelika will have to try to answer back. And they would like to, like a lot of teams would like to do, they'd like to have long drives that eat up the clock, that keeps Daphne's offense off the field.
Well, we saw McGill not only do that, but they were able to, run the play clock down. They did everything they could.
And respond to the score in the big thing.
They sure did. You know, McGill fell behind 7-0 very quickly to Daphne the same way, and they did. They responded quickly and made sure that Daphne knew they weren't just going to walk away. So that's what Opelika's got to do here.
Roberts will kick for the Trojans. Jones and Demarius Howard back deep. Also back deep is Wilson. High, short kick to the near side. Fair catch called for. Justin Taylor made the fair catch. The Opelika coaches wanted a penalty on that one. Take a look at the scoring drive. 8 plays, 63 yards. Sane with the touchdown reception, exactly 3 minutes off the clock.
And the teams mirror each other with the kickoffs.
Now they decide to throw the kick.
Throw the flag?
Throw the flag after the kick, yeah.
Wow.
Well, he certainly ran into him, but I tell you what, it wasn't as egregious as the Arkansas kid on the Vanderbilt guy. I tell you that.
Not been anything egregious like that since the AFL.
But, you know, he was a freshman. I kind of think it was just a freshman mistake. Mm-hmm. Freshmen do things like that.
I'm just blown away the fact the word egregious was worked into the broadcast twice by 2 different people in an 8-second span.
Well, you know, Vic's
a copycat league.
Vic's my Scrabble partner.
And I usually lose.
We should mention that Brian Blackman, the head coach of the Opelika Bulldogs, his brother, Ben Blackman, was head coach at Gulf Shores.
Kick catch interference against the Trojans on the fair catch.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get some behind the scenes, you know. That would have been great. Leave that mic open.
Yeah.
Okay.
But where are these zebras from? Are this an all-star cast? Are they from here?
That's
What's
Don
the-
English, who I think,
Don's
does a lot of games on TV, and he's also a guy who very well explains what takes place out on the field.
I like Don a lot.
Step off and then a re-kick.
He goes back and likes to look at the games. He'll get a copy of the game from UTV 44. Likes to evaluate himself as an official as well. Takes his jobs on Friday nights very seriously.
You can tell.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Well, I guess he has his wife at home holding up 5, 4, 10s, whatever height he do after he does it.
He is a longtime official, and
That's me.
so we'll get the kick, move back to the 25. And
Well, this is one way to keep yelling off the field.
Yeah.
You know, he spent a
Keep
lot of
everybody
time.
off the field.
Correct.
yeah, the clock's
Getting
not
the
moving,
kickoff.
however, so that's not doing a lot of good. We were saying Coach Blackman, the head coach at Opelika, his brother, head coach at Gulf Shores. We'll hear from him a little later on tonight with Pat Greenwood. He's here in the stands. Like we were joking, Dan, it's like kind of like the Harbaugh brothers.
Yeah.
Those two. There we get a good look at
Yeah,
Brian
that's
Blackman.
Brian, yeah. He's the John Harbaugh.
He's 4 years older.
Yep, he is. Then he might have a little more fight in him. I don't know. We enjoyed spending time with both these guys.
They met their dad Larry, talked to him before the game and said we were trying to get some of those like Harbaugh family stories from the Blackmans. And he said they were both pretty competitive.
He said, we had some things happen on the lawn I'd rather not get into.
Said it didn't matter if it was on the lawn, if it was on the Friday night field, they were competitive. And you could see that. I bet the family get-togethers are still a lot like that. A kick to the near side, right at the 40. And bounds at the 47-yard line.
I talked to their mama, later visited them again, and I said, have you ever spent a Friday night in the bleachers before? And she said, don't get me started.
Hey, let's look at the offensive, some changes here. We're going to see Braden Rogers now move from wide receiver to quarterback because Bryant's a little dinged up. So Rogers, their best receiver, moves to quarterback. Howard will be the featured running back. So things a little jumbled around for this offense that coming into tonight only threw for 75 yards a game, and they run it for 200 a game. Mm-hmm. But they still are a running football team. But we'll see Braden Rogers at 6'2", 205, and he'll pitch it off to Howard on the right side. And Howard is hit and ridden down for a 2-yard loss, and a late flag comes in. I wonder if that might not be a face mask.
They ran it right at Ryan Anderson, which is not advisable.
Well, it's just the first pitch, and certainly they'll learn that as the night goes on because he was right there to greet him, was he?
It's a throw or the flag thrown where you normally would see a face mask, and that's it.
Yep, Trey Jenkins, the safety, came in. And, boy, it was going to be a loss of 2. Instead, you get 15 with the foul.
30 yards and penalties here.
Yeah.
They barely snapped it. Keep an eye on Tony Philpott. He's a big, you call him tight end, H-back, whatever you want to call it, a lot like South Alabama. Wherever you see him line up, 18, that's probably where they're going to go.
Rogers has just thrown it 6 times this year, 4 of 6 for 78 yards and a touchdown.
He can throw it, though.
Yep, got an offer to go play for the Salukis at Southern Illinois. Give it on the near side and down to the 31-yard line is the first touch
Well, Dan, I bet you're the only guy
on the night for Tyler Jones.
Mobile that know the Salukis.
That's where my wife went to school.
Hey, I knew the Salukis.
There's Daphne, Ryan Anderson, of course, the Alabama commitment, so physical on the outside. Abel and Lee also there. And remember, Preston Hughes had the great game in the secondary that we saw earlier this year. And there's Lee with penetration. And ball came out, but he was down. He's going to be just shy of the first down.
Lee is similar to AG in that he's a big, rangy kid with great grades. He's heading to South Florida, I believe.
Yeah, I saw his father right before the game. Good guy.
Impressive kid.
Demarius
Going right on down the line.
Demarius Howard lined up there. He's going to take it out of the Wildcat, tries to cut it back in, and nowhere to go as Anderson was a big reason why he wanted to cut it back to the inside as he saw big number 7 and Batiste there to come and help out at the end.
Well, Anderson did a good job there. He took on the blocker and, maintained his balance, keeping it from going outside, and then just had enough power to crush his blocker down and still make the play inside.
Mm-hmm. Anderson with 12.5 sacks and 80 tackles now on the year. Fourth, and after the loss, it's going to be 4th and 3.
Yeah, Anderson is going to show us a lot about how to defend that edge.
Delayed handoff right up the middle and trying to spin, and he's going to be very close. Howard
Demarius Howard again, the ball carrier.
Boy, that is close.
Yeah, almost disrupted again by Lee. I think he's doing some little games up front, stunning, not just reading anything, just going on the snap of the football in one of those gaps.
That's
and it's disrupting the play before it gets going.
Big measurement here, but how big was that third down play by Anderson to? They went from second and short to third and long, and now 4th and 3, and we'll get the measurement here.
How about the call, too? The delayed draw there.
They're a running team. You know, they really, as we said, do not throw the ball much. And he's going to be just shy of the first down. Pat Greenwood.
Yeah, you know what Daphne's doing a pretty good job of is they're moving Ryan Anderson from one side to the other. He was on the left side of the defense on 3rd down, right side of the defense on 4th down. Something that Opelika is going to have to adjust to, and pretty smart by Daphne. Just move him around and make sure that they have to watch him every time because he's going to be tough to run against all night.
I also think watch Anderson. He may be upright more today, more as a linebacker than a guy with his hand in the ground. And they're just trying to use him as a defensive weapon.
Yeah, and I noticed that too, and that's a good observation by Greenwood. I saw him moving around there, and you got to account for the guy where he is, and if you can't find him, that's a problem.
Yeah, how about Opelika gets, as Dan alluded to, 30 yards of penalties on that drive and can't take advantage of it. Fleeting hit, lost the football. Loose on the far side, rolling down inside the 5, picked up, and then still loose, recovered by Opelika at the 1.
Fumble on the play.
Ball security.
AJ ends up with the loose ball. Opelika had tried to scoop it up.
Yeah, I thought when he tried to scoop it that he was going to get a clean scoop, but then he didn't handle it, and then I thought Daphne fell on it, but it appears, 1st and goal for Opelika?
It is.
Let's take a look at the replay and see how it unfolds. Big 90, as y'all were talking about.
Alford knocked it loose and then tried to be picked up on the near side, and I think that was Tommy Davis trying to pick it up instead. AG ends up falling on the football.
Yes. Daphne defense.
Drake who tried to pick it up, the defensive end.
Right back on the field, Jim, after they made the stop.
Howard out of the Wildcat on the right side. He's in for the score.
See that a lot. You know, defense does their job. Next thing you know, their back is against the goal line, and they're thinking, what the heck? I was just having a sip of Gatorade. What now? I got to go back out there?
Go back out there. Well, that's part of football. Sudden change, man.
Yeah.
Got to be ready.
Got to defend 2 yards or so.
Yeah, he didn't even get touched there, not even defended there.
Yeah.
10. He just walks on into the end zone. Good job by Howard.
6th touchdown of the year for Howard. Black on for the PAT.
William Black.
And it is 7-7, so Opelika able to take advantage of the turnover. They score on one play, and it's 7-7. 6:44 to go in the first on our UTV 44 playoff game of the week. I think that's a huge play for Opelika. Huge play to get that turnover and score. As you look there, Brian Blackman brought a smile to his face.
Yeah, the Blackmans.
Well, to be on the road,
go ahead. Smile. There's a couple of guys that smile easy, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, being on the road down here in a hostile territory against arguably one of the best players in the state, to get a gift like that down here, they're very happy.
Yeah, I was talking to one coach, and he said that Opelika might have got the toughest draw in the state going up against Daphne.
Yeah. The defending champs.
Yeah.
Defending champ, number 2 in the region because of the McGill loss.
Got to come to their place.
Yep.
McGaster will take this at the 20. This is Jonathan up the right side. Stutter steps at the 30 to 31. You can see Opelika trying to strip that football away. That was only the 6th turnover that Opelika had forced all season long. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast. So it comes up big defensively there.
Well, it's at an opportune time to get it in the playoffs, and we're talking about they're down here from central, north, East Alabama, down here in the deep south, playing big-time 6A football with Daphne Trojans.
There's McGaster. He had the big run on the first drive that spurred on the touchdown. And then under center, Fleeton gives it off. This time the fullback, Clark Newsom, to the 37. Lots of local teams in action tonight. Murphy and Carver, Montgomery, Dothan and McGill, Benjamin Russell and Davidson, and Foley taking on the number 1 seed Central Phoenix City. Of course, our game here tonight, Bryant 3-7 at Prattville, Fairhope and Auburn. And Blunt and Jefferson Davis
Fairhope has to go on the road because they ended up third in this very competitive region.
2nd and 7. Far side, Sane with the reception. Sane's got the first down and out near midfield.
Yeah, that was the idea, guys, is to get Fleeton, who really didn't have a big game against McGill, get him in the action early, and it's already paid off with a touchdown pass.
13-yard pickup. Spanish Fort and Fairfield in 5A tonight. McAdory take it on Viger, LaFleur, and Hueytown, and Woodlawn and St. Paul's with the matchup tonight. First down for the Trojans. Fleeton out of the gun, gives it off to Yeldon. He makes a move, stutter step at the 50 and down to the 49-yard line. 4A games tonight. UMS Wright going on the road, and UMS talking about that tough loss they had to Thomasville. I said, we win that game, we get a home game. Instead, they go to Greene County. West Blockton and Thomasville, Saraland and Bibb County. Saraland with the playoff appearance, and Sumter Central taking on Jackson tonight. Yeldon at quarterback as they move Fleeton way out to wide receiver at the top of your screen.
Look for him to throw it.
He does to the near side to McGaster. Got a good seal block on the edge, and McGaster is going to have the first down to the 39-yard line. Then McGaster slipped on the track at the end of that one. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeldon going to be used in many different ways, and just like you said there, look for him to pass it. He's subject to pass it anytime he's back there.
Pat Greenwood.
Hey, you knew it was going that way because Jeremy Sparks, 6'2", 225, or 255, I should say, 6'5", 255. I'm shortchanging him. He was split out all the way. He was a blocker all the way.
You don't think he was going to run a route, Greenie?
Never know.
They ever put you on offense, Vic, for a few trick plays or anything?
Played a little tight end. Yeah. Sure.
Didn't throw it to you enough, did they?
No, they didn't.
Fleeton to Yeldon. Yeldon cuts it back up the middle. A.G. bangs on him, but he'll push the pile to the 34. Boy, Yeldon looked like he had some to the outside, but cut it right back to the inside where the traffic was, and still it's going to pick up about 7.
Yeah, that's the one thing, I've always questioned. I think he just questioned himself there on his speed, being able to get out there, but he certainly had plenty of daylight, and, Jim, you saw it all day long.
Yeldon back at quarterback here. Pat talks about Jeremy Sparks in the slot. Prototypical slot receiver at 6'5", 255. Yeldon pulls it down on the draw. Boy, Opelika making a concerted effort trying to strip that football out on every play.
Yeah, I've noticed that, and that's it. Minimize Daphne any way you can.
Hey, you can find us on Facebook. Look for the UTV 44 High School Game of the Week. You can like the page and get lots of great information. Always find out who the Scholastic Athlete is of the week, the Player of the Week. Jared Kihas with lots of stuff on there as well. So check us out on Facebook. There's Sparks. McGaster in motion. Yeldon will keep it on the right side. TJ Yeldon makes a move, is slowed down, still on his feet, inside the 20 to the 15, and it's first down for the Trojans to the 13-yard line.
When you're playing defense against Yeldon, you have to assume he's about to break whatever tackle you think he's about to get him.
Exactly, and no doubt, this is one of these things this back likes to do. He likes to get your weight going or momentum going a certain way and cut up under you. He likes to let you use yourself against him.
Leverage.
18 yards on that one. Yeldon pushes down to the 9-yard line.
And just like Jim said right there, the thing that you and I noticed from last year to this year, he's finishing those runs. He's pushing on through those tackles at the end.
Yeah, and
when they wrap him up, he's still going with his legs.
Right, but he's still being patient and picking his holes.
Sure.
So that's kind of a maturity right there. He's not just busting up in there blindly.
Hey, he just stepped up another level of his game.
9 carries for 36 yards thus far. Well off his 10.8 yard per carry average he has coming into tonight, which is just
hasn't busted a big one yet.
Yeah,
and he's
that's like
subject to do that.
Madden-like. On the right side with a straight arm, cuts it back in and leaps for the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans.
Well, when the Trojans look like the Globetrotters, which I coach, kid coach Vickery, they occasionally do. There's Meadowlark right there.
And Jim used the analogy that kids would love, Madden-like. Not talking about John Madden playing, talking about the video game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Talking about John Madden and his great video game franchise. That these are the numbers that Yeldon puts up. It looks like something you would You know what it looks like? When I try to play the kids online, it's the numbers they put up when they try to play. You walked in on one of those one time.
I did. It was a hockey match. You were playing some kid from Canada, and the language you were using.
I should have guessed Jim playing hockey.
It's like an 8-year-old kid from Winnipeg just taking him to the woodshed.
And mocking me in the process.
He can't find any players in Mobile or Pritchard to play.
No, Roberts with a PAT, and it's 14-7.
Playing a kid in Saskatchewan somewhere.
I saw it.
Daphne on top 14-7 as we try to get a little control back here in the
You kids are just too much fun. Jim and his northern stuff, hockey.
TJ Yeldon.
You should see us after the games. You got to come along sometime, Vic.
Yeldon with the touchdown number 28 on the year. And as we said, he needs 79 yards coming in tonight to reach 2,000 rushing, over 2,000 total yards already.
It's not just the yards. It's the variety of the ways that he gets it. It's the different talents he has from. We haven't even seen him as a receiver yet tonight.
You just wait.
Yeah, we know we will, but boy, he is a fantastic receiver as well. I mean, if he was not a top-flight running back, he would be a top-flight receiver prospect.
I'm concerned. I even think he may even line up at offensive tackle and move some folks out. He's so good.
And he's on the far edge on the kickoff team as well. Again, another short kick and a fair catch called for at the 31. And Fulton makes the catch, and Opelika will start there as we see our Spring Hill Toyota scoring summary. 9 plays, 67 yards. That was more of a grinding type drive, not a lot of huge plays in there.
Credit to Opelika not giving up the big play, and that's what Yeldon can do, though. They can wear you down as the game goes along. Now, I just think that we'll have to watch and see how it goes. They're a little banged up on offense as Opelika with their receiver playing quarterback. Not that he's not a talented kid, but you lose a receiver.
Your best receiver.
Yeah.
He is their best receiver, and he can throw it. He'll give it off here, and that is Howard, and he's going to be upended back at the 30 for a loss. And Anderson in there. Also, Jalen Colin, the sophomore linebacker who played very well against McGill in the game we did here on UTV 44.
That's where a lot of this youth is with Daphne, and maybe why they aren't so vicious on defense this year. Not only losing Bart Sessions, the coach, but a lot of personnel, including the linebackers.
Giving up just 14.5 points a game. 2nd and 11. Now Rogers looked to throw it to the near side, and that one incomplete.
Yeah, you can tell he hadn't been passing it a whole lot. I mean, he had him wide open. Ball just sort of died on him. He could have just put a little more strength on it and got it out there. Is that Jaquel Mitchell?
Yep, and he was wide open, unaccounted for by the Daphne defense.
Yeah, they're expecting to run. Opelika's known as a running team, you guys said, so they're all uptight there. Had to overload, actually, to that side, too, defensively.
Fulton and Colquitt, the receivers at the bottom of the screen, and Colquitt goes in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Looks like they're trying to set up a screen. They do. Able to get this one off, and that goes nowhere as they hit Howard, but he's going to be hit back at the line of scrimmage, and that's going to be a 3-and-out for Opelika. Lee in there along with Preston Hughes, cornerback.
Ryan Anderson's been around every pile tonight, too. He's been very active, as you were talking about, and Pat was talking about moving big number 7 around. So Opelika can't key on exactly where he is.
Yeah, you're looking at Preston Hughes there. He was in on that as well.
Horace Johnson.
William Black to punt the ball away to the Bulldogs.
Setting up the punt. Got the waggle gate open.
Black.
Oh, got a piece.
That one had partially blocked, but it takes a great roll all the way out of bounds, out near midfield.
Yeah, good play defensively there to maintain the momentum. Daphne just not letting them out of the hole, just punching them either now on special teams. Now they've been gassed them offensively, stopped them on defense. Now they're getting the special teams involved.
Yeah, it's just exactly what you can't do against the defending state champion who's 9-1.
Exactly. I mean, these guys, you don't want to give them any edge anywhere, and you're starting to give them the edge on the special teams, and they're already handling you defensively and offensively. So Opelika's got to figure a way to get something going positive for them other than the turnover they had early to get the score.
So Daphne comes back out with a great field position right at midfield. Yeldon in motion to the bottom of the screen. Fleeton feels pressure. Now he'll tuck it and run, and he's going to have a first down to the 39.
He showed some speed right there. He just kind of sprinted on out of that thing.
Look at the best playing the best. Many of the top high school football players in Alabama and Mississippi are headed to the Montgomery area December 10th when the 25th Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Football Game makes its first appearance at historic Crampton Bowl. The 240-member squads of high school seniors will match their talents 12:30. Tickets are now available online at the stadium on game day for $10 each. Don't miss it, December 10th.
First and 10 as we get inside, a minute to go. And timeout taken by Daphne. The ball on the 39.
And I hate to hear that All-Star game got out of Mobile, but I'm glad the legacy still goes on and it's at least being played in the state of Alabama.
Well, it's only a few years ago they moved it to wintertime, too. They moved it to December from, it was always a June event, right?
Sure, that's right. They did it to account for these early signees going up in the second fall semester or spring semester. Yeah. I've been out so long, I don't know what semesters they are, but it's the one that goes from January to May.
Hey, I want to thank our friends at Subway, been our presenting sponsor all season long here on UTV 44, and they're with us through the playoffs as well. Play hard, eat fresh at Subway.
Game 7 on. I think you've been solid with that.
That fan's into
Subway.
it.
I think it was just once, and I'm glad you're bringing that one up. It's a new season in the playoffs.
It's a new season.
All the records are, all the stats are new. It's not cumulative now. It's postseason stats. Yeah. So I'm 1 for 1.
Winner go home. I almost had to go home there a moment ago.
At the 39, Fleeton looks to the side with 47 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
Opelika's defensive line getting all the ball they can, not reading too much. Just going.
Yeldon, submarine. That's going to be a loss on the play. One of the rare times you see Yeldon.
Yeah, that front paid off that time, because they're not reading anything. They're just getting upfield, trying to play on Daphne's side of the football, and that time it was successful to get in there, as you say, submarine Yeldon before he even gets his engines going.
They'll have to snap it one more time here in the first quarter.
Closing down.
Fleeton. Play action. Sets up, has time, looks to the near side. He'll look at that one complete, and a big hit put on immediately as McGaster made the catch, and it took a big hit at the end of the play as well. But McGaster holds on, and that was Ryan Jordan coming over to make the stop there.
Yeah, good hit. Almost timed it exactly as the football got there, but he held on to it.
And we'll go to a break. We're through one. It's 14-7. Daphne on top after one. Through one here in Daphne. Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan, Pat Green on the sidelines. I'm Jim Cox, Jared Kihas in the truck. And the Daphne Trojans just had the one miscue so far. The fumble that gave Opelika the ball on the one, and they scored. And so far, Daphne's looked impressive to start this game.
They've had their way other than that lack of ball security by Fleeton. And throwing the ball, Fleeton's been pretty good tonight, too.
Yep, Pat Greenwood.
Well, I'll tell you, if anybody went to the South Alabama game last night and they felt the wind that we had to deal with last night, you guys alluded to it at the beginning, that wind is gone. It's actually quite comfortable out here tonight. I thought maybe the kicking game, that field position direction would play a factor tonight. It's absolutely calm and beautiful night for football. Yeah, and the
fact is, just a few hours ago, that wind was still kicking up.
Yeah, it was blowing all day today, and then just died as soon as nightfall came. TJ Yeldon in the middle, and he's driven back. I think it's so important, you see, on 3rd and 1.
Looks like his momentum took him forward to kick the sticks, though.
I think so.
Didn't need much. And you can see, when Daphne has the lead, which they've had probably 95% of the time this season, when you have the lead, you give the ball to T.J. Yeldon. And, really, what better play calling could there be?
Yeah, he's used to handling the football. He's probably not had many fumbles all year. Let him do that for 3 quarters, then set him down for the 4th quarter.
Or
get ready for next week.
Some games after 3 carries. Fleeton on the right side. His receiver, Sane, was not ready for that. Looks like Sane was ready to block downfield.
Yeah, he must assume there must have been another receiver behind him, and the play was going to the other receiver, and he was going to just kind of screen out and block there.
Yeah.
A little miscommunication.
Right, Zane thought it was a throw underneath him, and he was out there just to provide protection.
First incomplete of the night for Fleeton.
He's been good.
Don't want to assume that's on him, even though he comes out of the game. They just like to use Yeldon quite a bit as that wildcat back, and why not?
And that's where he's at right now. McGaster in motion. He'll take the handoff. And McGaster's going to be hit in the backfield, and he's going to be driven back. Great penetration. Brandon Taylor. First one in there for Opelika. Taylor, just a junior, 6'1", 180. He's their biggest player in the secondary.
Yeah, that's to Vic's point of Opelika just pushing the limit and just trying to get penetration, doing whatever they can to get people on that side of the ball.
Yeah, that's what they want to do, and that probably speaks to their statistics. Reason that there's an M1 player that just stands out when you look at their stats in terms of tackles. Play as a team and just do all that blitzing and stunting, that spreads it out in terms of tackles.
3rd and 14. Fleeton has time, comes to the near side. Sane dropped the pass. So a rough series for Sane.
At least this time Sane was looking for the pass.
Yeah.
He just couldn't find the handle that time.
Sane, of course, has scored a touchdown tonight.
Yep, junior receiver, 6'2", 180. Lanky kid. Let's see what Daphne does here it would be a 50-yard field goal.
It looks like Vickery is just going to lead the offense out there and see what makes something happen.
They'll put T.J. Yeldon out to the right.
T.J. Yeldon, is he uncovered right now?
No, he's got man up on him, and then they got 2 deep safeties. The Tampa 2.
Fleeton looking that way.
Doesn't matter, still go his way.
Yeldon goes up and pulls it down at the 1.
I was going to say throw it up, and I was actually looking on this side, Horace Johnson, who was nearly uncovered, and with Yeldon it is. Take your chances, throw it high and see what happens.
Hey, he's got the height. He's truly 6'1". I've been out there on the field and stood next to him.
Yeah,
I'm looking up to him.
Like I said, if he wasn't a great running back, he would no doubt be an all-state receiver.
And good job by Fleeton just putting it where his man can go up and make a play, and he does it. He catches it all football above the rim, brings it into his body.
He was going against LaQuinn Snipes, and this is an easy touchdown on the right side for McGaster. And so Daphne answers after a 3rd and 14. They get a 32-yard completion to Yeldon, and then they give it to McGaster.
Yeah, McGaster's real comfortable there with that ending around, and he just kind of laissez-faire takes it on into the end zone, Jim.
His 6th rushing touchdown of the year. And Daphne impressive so far here tonight against Opelika. As you look at Glenn Vickery, the winningest coach, will become the winningest coach in Daphne history with a win tonight. He's tied with Savarese. They each have 93 wins, 93 and 30.
You think he'd be upset if we put an asterisk there and, Yeldon at the bottom of it?
Good players make you win, man.
Sure. Roberts with a PAT. Daphne on top, 21-7. Behind who else? Number 4, the Auburn commitment. Daphne looking like the potent offense we've seen all year, averages 41 a game, and this is a good defensive team from Opelika that's come down here. They knew they'd have their hands cut out for them tonight.
Good till tonight, and their hands have been cut out or something.
Really makes it tough to play defense, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what. And consider this, too. Opelika was 7 points in their drive, as we talked about, was 1 yard.
Right.
Well, when you got the player we're talking about over and over and over, I mean, he's going to give any defense some trouble.
But, of course, McGaster had the big run on the first play, had the touchdown there. You got the touchdown pass to Sane from Fleeton.
Yeah. All of them off decoys.
That's right. That's right. It all centers off of him. And when he's in the game, so many eyes are on him, Jim, that it allows people to get a half a step, and that's all they need.
A short kick this side. This will be Howard who takes it at the 25. Howard trying to get up the right side. He's hit out of bounds. You know, and Brian Blackman, the coach of Opelika, was telling us on the field, and as we look at the scoring summary there, 2.5 minutes, 7 plays, 50 yards. And McGaster with the score, he said, look, he said, you know, everybody knows you play Daphne, which you just have to try to stop Yeldon. And he said, that's what every coach is trying to do coming into the game. And he said, nobody's done it yet.
Yeah, nobody's done it. Even in their loss to McGill, he had over 160 yards by the half.
Now Opelika needs to answer back. And a team that does not have their starting quarterback.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Daphne's already substituting on defense. Some new players in.
Give it off to Howard, and Anderson put a big hit on there. Also in, and there was Eric Lee.
Well, those two hadn't came off the field.
Yeah, how about the crunch coming from both those defensive ends when you're the ball carrier?
You take a look at it. He was doing a little twist there in the mid to come back inside, and it was a perfect call.
I knew Tyndall, you know, brings us the replays. That one, you know, in conjunction with all-strength Tylenol of some sort.
See if they try to get Philpott involved. The big tight end Dan talked about. They throw it to the near side, and it's broken up. Good play as Preston Hughes goes up to knock that one away.
Yeah, beautiful job by him, keeping his right arm on the defender and then his left arm to break in front of him and bat the pass away.
Colquitt, they tried to go to him at 5'8", going against Hughes at 5'6".
Yeah, tell you, look at him there. Come around there and get his head around and knock that ball away.
Colquitt is their speed guy. If they try to get something big, he's probably the one they're going to get it to, reverse it to.
Hughes on the year. You look at him, 3 interceptions this year, a couple of block kicks as well. And now Braden Rogers 0 for 3 on the year in 3rd and 8. The usual throwing down, but Opelika likes to keep it on the ground, and we'll see. Play action. Rogers able to get this one out, and they get it complete. And Opelika's got the first down as they're able to get this off to Jacob Mitchell, the sophomore. Nice little play action there, and the completion and a first down for Opelika, who desperately needed that.
He's the other tight end aside from Philpott, and reverse action, and they find him dragging out there enough for the first down.
Trey Rembert comes up there and makes a good tackle, save him from running on down the field. From his safety position, just what he's supposed to be, the last line of defense.
See the size of 18 Philpott, Jim.
He fills the pot.
He does. That's why they follow him so much out of the formation in kind of an H-back set.
From the 41. Rogers off his back foot sends this one into double coverage, and it's complete down to the 15-yard line as he's able to fire that one up, and Colquitt hauls it down.
Well, you were just talking about, Dan, how he's the one that's the big play guy. He's got the speed. And I'll tell you, Preston was right there, though.
Actually, that's Tyler Jones, the starting safety, who plays a little wide receiver there, and 45 yards on that one.
You're right, it is.
He's able to get it complete. Look at that, right off the back foot, heaved it up there.
Good job by that young man. Pardon me.
Hughes was in position, wasn't he?
Jones, his second catch of the season. Down to about the 9 here. Opelika gets the...
Yeah, Damaris Howard keeping his legs driving there, getting some extra yardage, trying to move the sticks, getting their way onto the end zone.
You know, on that right side, Jim, you got Johnson, who's 260, and Chris White, who's 291 for Opelika.
They like to go that way.
I can see why.
Howard, penetration, and he's dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. Isaac Houston, the outside linebacker, the senior, in to make the stop.
Yeah, good job by him. Just get in the backfield and get the guy down. Don't get caught up in all of his moves. Just wrap his ankles up. Not a real tall guy, 5'10", 181 senior.
This is 3rd and 4 from the 8. You would think this is 2-down territory. You know, you're not going to beat Daphne kicking field goals when you're already down 14. Rogers rolls out, looking, fires it. It goes off the hands and incomplete as they look for Mitchell again.
Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, good bootleg out. Just didn't execute it right there. Everything was good. The roll around, the setup, the pass just went through the receiver's hands.
And they will bring out the field goal team. Boy, that one's not on Rogers. I mean, that's sophomore's got to pull that one in for a touchdown in the first round of the playoffs.
You're right.
So Black will come on, and it will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. And the kick is good. And so it's 21-10. Opelika gets some points out of the drive. 7:37 to go in the second. Daphne on top in our round one matchup here on UTV 44. 21-10, the Trojan. The defensive hold there. So Opelika's had the one-play drive, and then they had the big 45-yard completion to set up that field goal. In between, really have not been able to do much on this Daphne defense.
I'll tell you one thing, the Trojans feeling it right now. It's a one-man dance contest.
And I can tell he's not related to me.
You don't feel it out on the floor?
I don't think he's got a couple of moves there. Not that I have good ones.
TJ Yeldon will stand back at the 5, and we got a
get him offside?
Offside. Anxious to get down and cover that one.
Well, they were pretty close on the kickoff, so this time they probably warned them, and this time they went ahead and flagged them.
We'll move it back to the 35 on the kick here. Pass along some scores, but since we're tape delayed,
it's just for our own entertainment up here.
Fairhope leading Auburn 14-13 in the second. Blunt 7-6 over Jefferson Davis in the second. Prattville all over Bryant 35-0. Spanish 4-21-7 lead over Fairfield. Benjamin Russell leads Davidson 10-0. St. Paul's 17-3 over Woodlawn. Biger and McAdory scoreless in the second.
I think you should give those scores. You never know what could happen at the register, Dan. You may not get your paper.
I ain't going there, my man.
I got friends there, too.
Okay, well, now you have fewer.
McGaster will take this one inside the 10, and he's got a lot of green to the near side. Yeldon out leading the blocking brigade, puts 2 blocks on, and McGaster, look out, Torrin McGaster. No flags and 2 big blocks from Mr. Football.
Yeah, excellent job of just pushing him on through the hole by Yeldon. Not only, I told you guys, we might can line him up at tackle.
You did.
Offensive tackle.
You did.
So Daphne with the block punt, and then they get this one as McGaster takes it. We'll call it 87.
Yeah, take a look at 4 there, just shielding him out, turns his blocker around, picks up another one, and that springs him there. Good job by McGasker negotiating the field, too, making the cuts and turns where he needs to, and then turn the speed on.
Yeah, we'll call it 92. Didn't mean to short him by 5 there. We'll call it 92 yards for McGaster. And Daphne looking oh so impressive to start this one. And Roberts' PAT is good. And it's 28-10. And Daphne continues to offensively be very impressive.
You know, you said it back when, just a play ago, when Opelika was down there. Well, are they going to, field goals aren't going to get it done against Daphne. During the break, we were talking about, well, maybe they're just going to get something, hopefully get a stop, get 7 before the half, But Brian Blackman his defense is playing against a different sort of team. Even the special teams, you can see. You got to get touchdowns against Daphne when you get deep, because they're going to get touchdowns on your end.
Well, we were assuming when they said to stop, they would at least cover the kick. So they didn't cover the kick, so we didn't even get the defense.
That's
so
true.
Can't turn the page in the novel just yet.
That's right.
Let's go down and talk to Pat Greenwood.
Well, and you talk about domination here. You think about it, Opelika's had one drive. It was the one big play, because otherwise they took over on the 1 for their touchdown. You take that away, it's 28-3 at this point. I mean, this has just been one-sided. I'll tell you, Daphne's looking awfully, awfully impressive.
Yeah, they are so impressive. Again, as if you're maybe just a casual follower of football, and finding out about that Daphne, just the one loss to McGill. It's the only loss they've had in 2 years, and defending state champions, and I don't think anybody who follows football closely was quite ready to write the Trojans off after one loss.
Yeah, no, I
still think they're the favorite to come out of the South.
I would agree, and I think that you have to analyze that loss to McGill a little more closely. They had just come off a big Thursday night game against Fairhope. That was all the hoopla, and McGill had just played 3 games in a row where they really weren't challenged. Mm-hmm. They had a time to prepare for Daphne.
So Roberts' onside kick just pooches it to the near side, recovered by the Daphne Trojans. Well, how about that play?
It did go the sufficient yards. Okay.
Yeah, it had to get just past midfield, and that was not even close. What a great special teams play by the Trojans, and McGaster adds that to his list of great plays tonight.
How about that?
How about the kick, though? Just spins it to the near side.
And it comes back.
Right to McGaster.
Yeah, kick it where it bounces back to 5. That's what that play's called.
And this is just, being the defending 6A champs and say, we got a team on the ropes right now, finish them off.
They're the Globetrotters.
Yeah.
They do what they want to do.
Yeah, they smell blood in the water here, and they just going in and just attacking.
Yeldon looking to throw. TJ out of the backfield. Left that one a little short for Jonathan McGaster. And let's go to our trivia question. Hey, Daphne's been to the playoffs 15 times in the school's 23-year history, and every year since 1998. How many times have they lost in the first round? I'll hang up and listen.
First time caller?
Thanks for taking my call.
Or a long time listener, or both.
Yeah,
we will.
I love those guys.
We'll give you that in the second half.
Hey, those are your friends early in the morning, don't you?
No. We engage on KSJ. We chit chat.
So they'll go back to Fleeton on 2nd and 10 at quarterback. Yeldon gives him a block and some time. Fires this one on the near side. Sane able to make the catch. First down, Daphne. And Daphne is just impressive in every facet of football right now.
And Fleeton looks like a different quarterback than we saw against McGill.
You're so right. Pat Greenwood.
And Chris Sane did a great job of selling the fact that he was going to take a fly pattern down the sideline and took the defensive back all the way down. Had a good 5-yard cushion. Great route by Sane.
Great look from our sideline cameraman, Ben Yukai, as well.
Yeah, that's good on the NFL level with 2 feet.
Yeah, you're right. Fleeton looks so much different here tonight. Really has not had pressure on him when he's dropped back to throw either.
Well, McGill also did what Opelika would like to do. They kept the ball alive.
Mm-hmm. And slowed the game way down with the play clock and everything else. TJ Yeldon on the right side, back to the middle. And he'll get to about the 31.
And just Yeldon just searching for some daylight. And I really want to just turn the speed on and burn around the corner, but he just wants to set you up and get you on where you break a snapping ankle and cut up under you.
You know, the one thing Glenn Vickery talked about that young man on our pregame show a couple of weeks ago, and he said, athletic ability and all that's great. He said, but this kid loves to compete. Mm-hmm. That is what he just loves to compete. And when you match that,
makes the good ones great.
With the athletic ability, watch out.
2nd and 9, Fleeton. He has some room on the right side. He'll pull it down, trying to get to the edge. He looks for the stick, and he's going to be shy of that as Taylor bumped him out of bounds.
Yeldon was right there in front of him when the play broke down. Yeldon was like, just give it to me.
Yeah, and then he took off the block, and Yeldon was going to block for him, and he was gone and out of the picture. So
3rd and we'll call it 3 for Daphne. And Daphne, it's not been quick strikes. Obviously, the touchdown on the kick was, but these have been drives that they have done to Opelika what Opelika wanted to do to them. They've had the ball all night.
Yeah, they have, and they've just got so many weapons starting with Yeldon and then just flank out from there. They got McGaster. Fleeton's thrown it very well. Sane's been good at wideout.
Well, in my initial observations is Opelika squad, it's not a bad club. You're still playing Daphne and Yeldon, but to me, they're not a bad football team. No. And that's causing Daphne not to just quick strike like we're used to seeing, because I think defensively they're playing them as sound as they can, but then it'll break away.
Daphne uses their 2nd timeout here, and that'll allow us to tell you about folks who help you see high school football on Friday nights all during the regular season and Saturday nights in the playoffs. Encore Rehabilitation, Paige Plash, and all the fine folks at Encore. Greer's since 1916. Spring Hill Toyota. Without them, there'd be no scoring drive summary each week. And Davison Fuels and Oils. There's Glenn Vicker. We mentioned it earlier. 93-30, tied all time with Steve Savarese for the most wins. 77-24 in the regular season and 16-6 in the playoffs. They will play. The winner of this game plays the winner of Bryant-Prattville, and there's Brian Blackman, head coach at Opelika.
You know, Brian is as sharp a guy that we talk about. Both these Blackman kids, they could have been whatever they wanted to be, you know, in life. They just love the coaching profession, but he can see what's going on out here tonight. His team's playing pretty hard. Daphne's got some pretty good players. 3rd and 3 for the Trojans.
Fleeton holds on to it, delivers to the near side, complete. And he's got a first down. As Horace Johnson is going to have the first down for the Trojans.
That's a long way to throw the football.
Yeah, and they had a defense pretty good. I mean, they were starting to get some rush, and they were man-on-man out there. It's just Daphne's, their men are beating their men.
They got players.
And, yeah, you're right. Fleeton, that ball had to travel a long way, and he got it delivered. That's what you want. You don't want it to die out before it gets there.
Right, it did not. That's the kind of throw that often does in high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't see it often.
Yeldon just to the right. Johnson goes in motion. They'll fake it to him. Fire to the near side. Sane with the catch. Makes a nice move at the 15. And Sane inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Trojans. Hey, you know, right now, TJ Yeldon's got 45 yards rushing. I think if you tell Brian Blackman coming into this game, 5 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the second, Yeldon's got 45 yards rushing. He doesn't think they're down 28-10.
No, about to be 35-10. The move by Sane, insane.
I knew it was coming at some point tonight.
There you go.
But that was good all the way around offensively. Good delivery by Fleeton. Nice, clean hands catch by Sane. Make a move and get upfield.
I mean, they look like a great offense. They don't just look like an offense with one great player.
Yeah, it looks like the Colts with Manning.
Yeah, Fleeton is really delivering it on time tonight. Here's Sane. He's had a half to remember.
Yep, Daphne uses their final timeout. And some more sponsors of high school football here on UTV 44. At halftime, we'll have the M&S Music halftime show. Also, Navigator Credit Union. And Caligas, print with people who know color. Daphne on the verge, as Dan said, going up 35-10.
And this is exactly what Coach Blackman don't want to happen. You know, he'd hate to come out the second half in such a hole like this. So he's got to say something over there to get these guys going. Maybe they get another turnover or something to stay in this football game.
Now, we got 5:40 to go in the first half as well. Daphne's scored every time they've had the ball except the one time when they turned it over.
Yeah, and even when you get them in a hole, they throw a rainbow down to Yeldon. And
that's covered.
The prayer is answered.
Double teamed.
Yeah.
But we've seen him do that before, guys.
No, yeah, I mean, he can.
It doesn't matter if he's covered or not. Just like what you were talking about earlier, he competes for the football and he ends up with it.
There's a competitor right there.
And I guess
Brian Blackman.
Yeah, we'll continue with that thought in a moment here on 1st and goal from the 3 to Yeldon. The direct snap goes on the right side. And he's in for the score. Number 29 on the year. And this one on the verge of getting out of hand.
As you take a look, he just takes it, dips his shoulders down, barely even touch. Good crash down by the line, and they just open a hole for him.
Ryan Anderson in there helping out to open up the hole.
That doesn't hurt to add that load.
Roberts on for the point after. Boy, you're 5:34 in the second. You're already thinking about the next week's matchup between Prattville and Daphne.
I'm thinking about coaching your team from this point. And the things have got to be running through your mind if you're Glenn Vickery. You don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yep.
First of all, you got to win the game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, guys. Y'all are real premature.
I understand that. But if you see that 10 and you see that 34, and we don't see any indication that anything's going to flip around. I understand what you're saying, but in the back of your mind, you've got to be started thinking, if at one point, when do we start doing whatever we need to do to preserve our team for the next week?
He'll get at least to the half before he gets there mentally.
No doubt.
Even mentally, I promise you.
Okay. Yeah, up here it's a lot easier.
It is. It's fun up here. It's fun out there on the field, too.
35-10. McGill now on top 21-14 at the half.
Interesting, a 1-against-4. Dothan putting up a fight.
Yep, and more people that bring you high school football all season long. We thank them. So we are in round 1 of the playoffs here at UTV 44, the Orthopedic Group. Cockrell's Body Shop and Tyndall Credit Union, our instant replay sponsors all season here.
There's a quarterback.
You know, we haven't had a lot of games like this on UTV 44 this season where
Well, and honestly, to the fans watching, that's why, you know, when we put our heads together, we wanted a 2-against-3.
Right.
We thought there would be a better chance of a more competitive game.
Yeah, a lot of times you just get those 1-4 matchups and you just, you know, you're not sure what you're going to get.
Right.
But so far, this Daphne team, you know, I would say the best number 2 seed in the state.
Yeah, I think everybody was saying that.
Any region, any classification.
Maybe any state.
Yeah. And they have done it in all facets.
You know, not only talented, you can see they're well coached. I mean, they really offensively use the weapons they've got, Vic, to such a precise degree.
Yeah, well, Coach Vickery's had the luxury, too, of having Yeldon around for at least 3 years on this varsity squad. He knows him inside and out. He's maximizing his talent. That's what you can do in high school football.
This kick still inbounds and then goes out of bounds. Opelika a little slow to go over that one, and it took a hop out of bounds, and so the flag will give Opelika good field position.
But as I was saying, you know, when you have a player like Yeldon and you got other players, you just like we've been saying, it starts with him, it goes through him, and then it ends with him at some point.
Yeah.
Offensively. And then, you know, he's also had, you know, these ends he's got are no slouch either.
Oh, yeah, defensively they got 2 guys you can build around, Anderson and Lee.
Now we see Cameron Hill starting, who was supposed to be the starting running back. He's banged up. He comes in the game, and Anderson will bring him down at the 37. And Hill, 750 yards on the year, and Coach Blackman told us before the game, it's like, oh boy, he's iffy.
Yeah.
And he might have been doing some lobbying to get in the game. He's a senior, trying to make something happen for this Opelika team.
I'm sure he doesn't want his high school career to end down here in Daphne, so he wants to extend it a little bit, get after that state championship.
At least if it's going to end down here in Daphne, give me a chance to do something about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Be a part of it.
We'll get a flag before this one.
It looked like DeQuan Abel was a little bit anxious, but we'll see what the Zebras say.
Yeah.
I'm putting it lightly, Dan. It's a defensive player. And that's light for us. It's a little love tap.
You know, while we have a moment here, Vic, just want to talk to you briefly. There is another game going on while this one's being aired that folks might have heard a little bit about this week.
Don't chase everybody off.
But, you know, so much, you know, Alabama, LSU, Vic, huge games, so much hype. It seems like the hype's been going on forever. I mean, as a player, were you just like, can we just get the game here already?
Can't get here quick enough. Can't get here quick enough for you.
Especially coming off the bye week, as this one heaved up the far side and just off the hands of Marquise Fulton as Rogers trying to get it to the big wide receiver Fulton, who had a step.
And to add insult to injury, talking about the Alabama-LSU game, a lot of players don't like to play night games because you hang around at the hotel and, you know, you're looking at other games and all that, and they used to tell us don't get up so tight in the other game. But I always enjoyed it because I got a chance to get a little more rest, and then I was juiced up and ready to play at night.
Does it favor the home team or the road team? I think the road team has got to sit in that hotel room.
Well, you're in hotel as well as being a home team because you're not at your dorm or staying at home. So they put you up as well. So it's equally bad for both teams.
So first down. As we see Hill head off.
You know, it's the opposite in high school football. You've got Opelika. They hop on a bus at
7 in the morning.
In this case, probably 2 in the afternoon. I don't know when. It looks like they just rolled on in here.
Inside handoff. This is Howard on the right side. He breaks the tackle, and he's going to have another first down inside the 40 to the 37 as he slipped a tackle back around the 45.
Well, they're down 35-10, but they're doing what they do best.
They have to run the football.
Yes, they're strong suit, and you might as well not get away from it too early. But I tell you what, guys, I like the wheels on Howard. Looks like he'll spin them.
There he heads off 5'8", 180-pound senior.
Yeah, if he gets a crease, I think he can be dangerous.
There's Phil Pott. He comes set at the top of the screen, and they'll pitch it off to Hill, and Cameron Hill to the outside, and he's going to have another Opelika first down.
Good job by Hill, just dipping his shoulders inside and then relying on his speed to outrun him to the corner there. He gets to kick the sticks and get him a first down.
See a little maybe emotional letdown defensively for Daphne here, Vic. A little bit, you can see the big lead on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're ready to go get a Coke at halftime, but I'm sure Coach Vicker yell at them a couple of times and say, hey, we got to finish this half and then come back and play a whole nother one.
Best drive by far by Opelika.
Hill trying to bounce it to the outside, and he does, and then he's upended there after he gets it down to about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, I see a couple of pancakes going on up in there with that front. They're starting to assert themselves. Look at Big 79 take up most of the screen.
Yeah, Jenkins with the stop. You see Opelika trying to speed things up a little bit here. A little bit of a hurry up, and they pitch it to Hill, and Hill gets hit by Anderson and also Jalen Coleman, the sophomore, in there.
Brought down by Ryan Anderson and Jalen Coleman.
As we approach 3 minutes left here.
Third down now, and about 2 yards.
Third and a long 2 for Opelika. There's Braden Rogers, the senior. He again was their leading wide receiver. They had to move him to quarterback, and Hill busts through the line, and he's going to have the first down to the 10.
Waller again, the ball
Just
carrier.
outside of the 10.
He is pushing the ball down to
They're doing something they hadn't done much of most of the night, and that is running straight ahead and through Daphne.
Well, I think they've made a substitution because I saw this young man pregame, DeAndre Wilson, number 79, and he wasn't in the starting lineup, and he's in there now.
Yeah.
He's moving some folks.
Yes, he is.
6'4", 368.
Just the fact that he's moving himself is something.
And that's
They
a
go to
feat in
Phil
itself.
Pott, the big tight end, and Phil Pott inside the 5.
Good stiff arm and just keep pushing his momentum forward.
It's a big guy right there too, Phil Pott. He's the guy they follow a lot on their power runs.
Well, you can see right there, and he's got pretty good feet too. So he's just not a big heavy leg guy that just grunts in there and blocks.
Yeah, they overloaded the right side and then threw it back to the far side, and they'll pitch it. This is Hill, and Hill gets upended down near the goal line. It's Preston Hughes who tripped him up, but third down coming up. They can get a first down just inside the 1.
Take big DeAndre Wilson out right now. Let him catch his breath.
They've got Daphne on their heels right now.
We're going to get a measurement here to see how close they got. This has been, as you said, Dan, the best drive of the night for Opelika.
By a long shot.
Oh, they've had the one big 46-yard pass, and then they had the 1-yard drive after the fumble. Get a measurement here and see if
And they brought DeAndre back into the game, big 79.
so. It's third down and less than a foot for a first down.
Now, I tell you, when the ball's spotted in this area of the field, I get tired running to the sideline back and forth. Just leave me in, coach.
Long run.
Yeah.
It's an uphill run to come on the field with a big crown here at Daphne. It's a very high crown on this field.
Yeah, I don't think we've been on any field that has a higher crown at midfield.
They do that for drainage purposes.
Wildcat formation, and now movement up front. And I think this is going to go against Opelika. Oh, boy.
Yeah, well, it was Opelika trying to use the strategy to get Daphne. So what the Zebra's going to say?
Opelika will be penalized for illegal procedure.
Ooh, third and less than a foot.
Yeah, they were trying to hustle up to the line to create a sense of urgency for the Daphne defense to get them to jump, and somebody else on offense, though, decided not to be on the same page with the rest of the offense, so now they're back deep.
Rogers gives it off to Hill. Big hole on the right side. He's going to be hit and stopped short of the first down.
Yeah, he hit that hole a little bit too tight towards the center. You saw some more towards the tackle there.
Also left his feet
early.
And that was the end of that because, you know, at that point, he's got no more momentum.
Well, Dan, do you kick a field goal in this situation?
I think you're down 35-10. You got to get touchdowns.
Yeah, I think you see the train for what it is now. You know, you've seen Daphne for a half. You say against your defense, and you're, you know, logically thinking we're going to have just as much trouble in the second half. We need touchdowns.
And they're
going to take a timeout here and discuss it, and then maybe do it from there after they have a discussion.
They'll let the play clock run all the way down and take the timeout. And
good idea.
Yeah, don't give Yeldon any more opportunities.
Another good idea.
That's part of the strategy Blackman's having there. I wonder how much the other Blackmans told this Blackman about Daphne. I bet they were on the phone quite a bit all week.
Except the fact that, you know, Ben had, you know, 5A, and he's got his own team to coach. He wasn't so concerned. He's seen the highlights of Daphne, but probably knows not so much about him.
Tell you about other folks bringing high school football all throughout the season. Our friends at UJ Chevrolet. Long time high school football sponsor. Thanks to Bud Urquhart and all his fine folks out there at UJ Chevrolet, celebrating 100 years of Chevrolet. And Heritage Homes, Frank Lott and all his great folks, and Smith Industrial Service, Chris Smith and his crews, and Wheel 2, Wes Williams, the Hall of Famer. He was a sponsor of high school football long before he was a Hall of Famer.
Yes, yeah, well, he was just a Hall of Famer last week, so I hope so. A recent award from the McGill-Tulin administration, well-deserved, and somebody that we've talked about for years, how much he enjoys, just like Glenn Vickery, the high school game, the whole situation of these kids succeeding and moving on. And again, for a lot of the kids, it's not a situation where they're going to go play college ball.
Yep.
But it's what a great experience at this level.
4th and 2 from the 2. They need to get it inside the 1. Rogers with Hill. Rogers to roll it out to the right side. Fires and touchdown Opelika. Able to get it to Akeem Colquitt, and a laser from Rogers to Colquitt. I thought Rogers might be able to run it in there.
Yeah, it was a definitely run-pass option, and I love that play offensively because it just pressures the linebacker so much when you got a quarterback out on the edge like that. He could pass it, he could run it. You just get caught in no man's land 90% of the time. There it is, yeah. Those guys, those defenders there, they get a favorable call there.
Well, I think that angle, I don't think it was clear-cut, and the referee was certainly right there.
But it just pressures you so much defensively when they do that play.
35-17. So, huge touchdown there for Opelika. Opelika will get the ball back to start the second half as well, and I think that was one of the reasons why you saw Coach Blackman let the play clock run all the way down there, trying to limit how much time Daphne will get back after this possession.
A really impressive drive considering the fact that they'd shown very little offensively up until then, and they were able to gut it out, down 25 points, give themselves a little momentum to go into the break if they can keep any calamity from happening here between now and the next 50 seconds.
Yeah, we talked about stopping them last time, but we didn't get to the offense to do it. But
that's right.
You know, I said in the beginning that, you know, I think this Opelika, from, you know, my observation here the first half, they're a pretty good ball club. They're just playing another very good ball club. So, you know, there's a chance they really can get back in this football game and make it very interesting and competitive.
It'll be interesting to look at the end of the night to see how the regions match up. See how does Region 2 do against Region 3.
Yeah.
You know, to look and just see how.
Well, that McGill score was, you know, interesting in itself. The 1 against the 4, and McGill only up 7 at the last point that we checked in on that one.
At the half. Black to kick. Looks like he's looking toward Batiste. He's probably not looking toward Yeldon, who stands at the 5, or McGaster, who stands at the 12, who took one 92 yards last time they kicked off.
Yeah, they don't want to take a sip from that fountain again. That didn't turn out well.
Nasty.
Nasty.
You got the two McGasters back in Yeldon. They finally blow the whistle, and they do pooch it high to the near side. Batiste fair catch, and at the 21.
That's a great kick because not only fair catch it, they don't fair catch it up around the 35 or
put a little more air under that one.
Yeah, he hit it pretty good.
And we'll see what the Trojans do. They're out of timeouts. They've used all three of their stoppages, so see what TJ Fleeton does, but not before a timeout called for by Opelika.
Yeah, no need of taking him in the half, I guess. He just wanted to see the formation and then prepare him for that. See, he may be thinking that Coach Vickery's still a little bit hungry and thirsty, may want some more points to chomp on.
Pat Greenwood?
Yeah, what exactly is the defensive formation against the kneel down? I've never seen a timeout where there's 43 seconds and the other team's lining up to.
Were they in the victory formation?
Well, to be honest with you, to me it looked like Yeldon was about 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and it looked like to me they were just going to take it. I mean, and to me, to be honest with you, if it's me, I am just kneeling it down. If I'm Daphne, no timeouts, no need to do anything crazy down here in your own territory, because a pick six and all of a sudden it's 35-24.
Yeah, I thought TJ just might have been a little. He was lined up at the 5 after the kickoff. I thought he was just kind of slowly making his way up to the huddle. I thought he was just behind the play and was just kind of saying, "Okay, here we go. I know I'm going to get the handoff and let's go." But we'll
see it play out for real this time.
Yeah, Blackman taking no chances, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't either with 4 out there. I don't care if he lined up 60 yards back.
So 43 seconds left here, and Fleeton gives it to the fullback, and Newsom will take it across the 25, and we'll see if the Trojans decide to run a play, if they get the play clock. So they play clock and the game clock both at 25. TJ Yeldon on the right side, up the middle. TJ Yeldon still on his feet, and he's going to have a first down, so they'll stop the clock while they reset the chains. And you saw that was one tackle away.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The play you can run is a pitch or hand to Yeldon, because what seems like an innocent let's end the half can actually turn into something
80 yards later.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, anytime it's 4 out there, I don't care if he's 60 yards back, I'm going to be in defensive mode.
So they won't take another snap. They'll go in with a 35-17 halftime lead. And Pat Greenwood's down with Coach Vickery.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Coach, offensively, I mean, you guys are clicking. What's going right?
Well, you know, we run the ball, and you're right. Some things are going good, and we got to regroup and come out and score some more and hold them and keep playing at that level. We're playing at a good level, and intensity is good.
And that's the challenge, though, because, you know, Opelika is the type of team that can get right back in it. Is that your message to these guys at halftime?
Yeah, sure. You got to play. You got to go play. We're playing basketball Monday. You got to play at a level that you got to play at every game. But we got to do it tonight, the second half for sure.
Not ready for basketball yet.
No, sir.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, guys.
Like the way you put that, Jim.
Yeah, it's halftime score 35-17. When we come back, we'll be able to hear from Opelika's band. They got a big one, and we'll hear from them coming up after this. Opening round of the 6A playoffs here on UTV 44, presented by Subway, 35-17. Daphne with the lead, and let's go down and enjoy the visiting band. It's Opelika rolling to town here on our M&S Music halftime show. here in Daphne. The Trojans on top 35-17 over Opelika. And now in our M&S Music halftime show, let's go down and enjoy the Daphne Marching Band.
think too much, we give too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. You have a love of humanity in your hearts. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this side free and beautiful, to make this side go forward in our future.
on phone to the side of the end zone.
52 points on the board in the first half. Lots of scoring. Daphne on top 35-17. I thought it was really key late in that first half, Dan, for Opelika to get that touchdown to kind of claw back into this game.
Yeah, almost unexpectedly. They had trouble moving the ball most of the first half, and they put together a very good drive and ended it with a big touchdown.
Yeah, they get the ball to come back here, but it's so much Daphne. We saw it early on. It was Sane getting the touchdown reception there from Fleet, and that got Daphne on the board early. And then also you had McGaster and TJ Yeldon putting up big numbers the first half. Yeldon with his first of 2 touchdown passes. Then they go to Yeldon on 3rd and long. That sets it up down at the 1-yard line. And Yeldon goes in. That was his 2nd score on the year, 29 touchdowns. And we did not see Jonathan McGaster's 92-yard touchdown on the kickoff return as well. As we look at our first stats there. And total offense, 236 for Daphne. But again, the only time they didn't score was when they turned the ball over the one time there, and they gave it to Opelika on the 1.
Yeah, and add it, if you would, the 92-yard kick return, too, to all of that for a touchdown. So Daphne has been exciting with the football.
Yeah, as promised, we take a look at our scoring summary there. 3 touchdowns for Daphne, and then Opelika actually got 10 points there in the second quarter. They got the field goal, then the touchdown, and 35-17 is our score. You look at Yeldon with 59 yards, and again, I think we made the point earlier, if you tell Brian Blackman you've held Yeldon to under 60 in the first half, you wouldn't expect you'd be down 35-17.
Yeah, it's pretty pedestrian the first half for him, but, it has all went through him, as we've all said. Indirectly, he has affected the score on the scoreboard.
And had those 2 great blocks on that touchdown kickoff return.
Good point.
As well. Hey, last week, our player of the game and our last regular season player of the game award, it was Trey Williams of the St. Paul Saints, and he was all over the football field. He started off with a big hit to open things up.
Man, Williams is big, powerful safety / linebacker, and everybody giving him a good look, even though he's just a sophomore. Watch the hit. Look out. Here comes 20.
Big Hugh had talked about how much you liked his size and speed when you first saw him out on the field early in the game.
Yeah, he can move around, and he's moved around in this game. And once he got there, he put something on him. He said, hey, stop right here. Done, over, let's go to the next play.
Yeah, Jimmy Perry was telling you, Dan, about, he gets a lot of calls about some of his seniors and upperclassmen, but they always ask about the sophomore, too.
Yeah, I think they're as interested in the sophomores about anybody there, including Huff.
What a play there, jumping under that route right there.
Yeah, that was a big-time play.
It was.
St. Paul's defense really controlled the game for the Saints, led by the sophomore, Trey Williams, and congratulate him on being our player of the week in week number 10 as we're here now in the postseason on our UTV 44 Game of the Week. Pat Greenwood on the sidelines, Jared Kihos in the truck, our statistician Brian Aaron this week, Vic Lockett, Dan Brennan, Jim Cox in the booth, and all the rest of our crew braving the chilly night. There's Brian Blackman. And Pat Greenwood had a chance to talk with him coming out of the locker room.
Absolutely did. He said, defensively, they're doing a pretty good job against the run. They got to do a much better job against the pass. And he said, offensively, it's just a matter of consistency. Really loved, as you would imagine, that last drive, and said that gave his kids a lot of confidence going into the second half. And as you know, Opelika gets the ball first, so they've got some life still left in them.
Yeah, they get the ball first. Of course, Daphne was up 28-10 in this game, that had the onside kick and recovered. Daphne has done it in all phases here tonight, so we'll see Opelika. And, of course, they changed things around. They brought back in Calvin Hill, their running back, who was out hurt. Cameron Hill, they brought him back in.
He looked good, too.
Yep. So we'll wait for Roberts to kick off.
Well, Greenwood got a good point there. It's good they got some confidence going back in, because they've heard about this Daphne team, I'm sure.
They pooch it to the near side. Fair catch called for by Howard, and a good thing he did, because the Trojans were barreling down on him. And now we'll see if they can move the ball like they did on that drive.
Yeah, and you were talking about maybe lack of intensity for Daphne, but you have to give it up to Opelika. I mean, they're the ones that made the blocks and moved the football when they were really backs against the wall.
Yeah.
35-10. They had every reason in the world to say, you know what? Let's go get some hot chocolate at halftime. But they moved it down the field and changed the perception of this game a little bit.
Yeah, and they brought DeAndre Wilson in, as Vic pointed to, on the line at 368 pounds.
And certainly made a difference while he was in there. It looks like he's starting out the second half.
Yeah, Howard comes in and moves it up to the 35.
He comes down on his own bus, but he's big, and you saw a marked difference in that run game when he was in there.
Yeah, when he comes down on that bus, he's probably got escort cars and yellow lights too.
Pickup of 3. Roberts has some time, steps up, fires. That one's nearly intercepted as it went through the hands of Preston Hughes.
Roberts doesn't look just like a quarterback because he's not just a quarterback. He is a wide receiver who's been pressed into quarterback play here because of an injury to the starter, Bryant.
Well, this is what I like. He stopped right there and just went up under the rush. A lot of quarterbacks would continue on out there and get themselves in trouble, but he had the wherewithal to pull up right there and try to deliver the pass. Unfortunately, he didn't put any arc on it to get it over the defenders.
Almost a pick.
3rd and 7. Akeem Colquitt, the receiver, and now they're going to have Wilson head to the sidelines. Play clock down to 5. Oh, boy, they have to take a timeout. 35 seconds in. They take the timeout as they wanted to make the change up front, and by the time they got settled, the play clock was down to 2, so they don't get the penalty, and they take the timeout on 3rd and 7.
Well, we can hear the fury from the coaches in the next room on that particular timeout. They weren't, particularly happy about that.
Yeah, countertops take a beating in press box.
We've noticed that.
They probably are made of steel.
Yeah, not up here, not ours, but
the other ones.
Yeah, Facebook, you can find us there. UTV 44 High School Football Game of the Week. You can ask us questions, read all the great comments Jared Kihos does. He even puts pictures in there with the crew getting set up and all kinds of stuff. So good job by Jared Kihos, who just does so much behind the scenes for high school football and every week.
He's the guy. He's the guy, and this crew is incredible. The shots you get are incredible, but all the work that goes into it well before, and administratively, Jared's got to deal with the schools, deal with the principals and the stadium general managers.
How about us 3 knuckleheads he's got to deal with each Friday night?
Well, I was just about to say, hats off to Jared. You're making me feel real bad because I just show up and run my mouth and let hot air out.
No one's going to disagree with anything you just said. But
3rd and 7. float this one on the far side, able to get it. Oh, it's incomplete as Tyler Jones could not hold on. And that'll bring out the punt team for Opelika, so they're not able to take advantage of getting the football to start things off here in the second half.
It's like he almost set it right in there, but just good play by the defender just to put his hands up even though he didn't get his head around.
But Jones is a starting safety because you've got Rogers moved from wide receiver to quarterback. They've got to put him as a wide receiver when he only had one catch on the year.
Yep, sir. You got a lot of moving pieces now because of the injuries at quarterback and tailback.
Black on the punt, and guess who's back to receive? T.J. Yeldon. Line drive punt. This one will come toward Yeldon. He'll just get away with it, get away from it, and then rolls all the way down inside the 20 to the 18, and we'll take a timeout early on in the third. Daphne on top, 35-17. So Daphne takes over. Fleeton with Yeldon in behind him. First offensive possession here, the second half for the Trojans. High snap, but Fleeton able to pull it down and fakes to, no, he did give it off to Yeldon. TJ up to around the 25.
The strength of this Opelika team, we were told by anybody and everybody, this defensive line. They've done a pretty good job against the run, as Blackman said at halftime. He was pleased with what they did against the run again. Yeldon not getting off any big runs. He's made some big plays, but no big runs. Now just over 60 yards for the night.
Pick up a 5. They'll give it to the fullback, and again, Clark Newsom has had 3 carries here tonight, now 17 on the year.
Just keeping the defense honest, checking to make sure that backside backer is going to check before he runs out of there, chasing Yeldon.
Carries the ball out to the 26-yard line. Third down now on 3.
So third and about 3 here for the Trojans. Plus, it's nice to throw that fullback a bone once in a while for all the blocking, right?
No doubt about it, yeah. He'd love to get the football, see if he can get Jim Cox to call his name. Defense true to the measure, though. Linebacker at home, make the tackle.
Fleeton gives it off to Yeldon. He's going to be hit and driven back and stopped, so that'll bring up a punt situation coming up. And let's go over to Pat Greenwood. He's got a special guest on the Opelika sidelines.
I sure do. Ben Blackman, the head coach of Gulf Shores. The Blackman name should be familiar. Big brother coaching over at Opelika. First of all, I was looking for you on the Daphne sidelines, but your mom wouldn't have liked that, would
No,
she?
I don't think Mom would have. I think she probably would have disowned me if I'd have been over here. I got to stay on that side.
Now, what kind of tips, if any, do you give Big Brother today?
Well, I just, pull for him in this situation. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this a lot longer than I have. And, just pull for him and give him support.
We got a chance to talk about the competition between you guys growing up. You got stronger, tougher pretty quickly, didn't you?
Yeah, he's 4 years older than me, and I had to play with all his friends, and I used to get beat up all the time. But it made me tougher, made me compete harder.
And talk about the progress at Gulf Shores, because you guys are getting better, aren't you?
Yes, we are. We're getting better, and we're trying each day just to focus on the little things and take care of those and try to build a program, and give those kids something to be proud of.
We pulled you over to the Daphne sideline. Go make Mom happy and get back over there, okay?
I'll do it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it.
Wow, big turn of events there while we're talking to Coach Blackman. Daphne on 4th and 4, able to get the penalty against Opelika, so they get the 5-yard penalty, and now it's a fresh set of downs for the Trojans. Boy, you get the 3-and-out stop, and then you give it to them. And now Yeldon up the near side. Hey, the brothers Blackman, they were talking about how competitive they were growing up, and with him being a little older, it was rougher for the younger coach, Ben Blackman. But Brian was talking about Ben, how smart he was. He said he got straight A's through school, high school, college, grade school. Said he got 1 B in his life. Wow. Driver's ed. He said, so don't get in the car with my brother.
That's what he did. Yeah, Ben, the younger guy that's at Gulf Shores, considered med school.
They look for Johnson. Nope, that was trying to get it to Olmstead, who we'll hear more about later. Yeah, he was getting ready to take the test to get into med school, and came down, lived with Brian, started just kind of helping out the quarterback, coaching the quarterback, and said,
I like this.
Well, this is my calling right here.
Yeah.
And you can see it. And
well, it was nice to talk to their dad, too, Larry, who said, you know what, both, and the mom, too, they said, both our boys love what they do, and I don't think you can get a better lot in life than that. They get to work with young kids and mentor and coach them. They're both, mom and dad, very proud of both guys.
Yep. 3rd and 7. Fleeton steps up, looking for Sane, picked off on the near side. Tommy Davis, the linebacker, comes up. No, it's Kurt Hale, the other linebacker, who comes up with the INT.
Well, he just made a simple little drop, and the quarterback just didn't see him there. I was pointing in that direction, trying to see that they had a receiver totally uncovered. He just stood up and throw the football to him. He'd have about 20 or 10 yards, but no, he elected to go across the middle there. Didn't see that backer sitting there in his drop. Goes back the other way.
Yeah, as you could tell, that was a great call, but he just didn't see him. It was kind of like he had squatted out a little bit there and didn't see him.
And Hale reading the eyes of the quarterback, doing exactly what he needs to do.
Sure. Make a play for his team, get this offense back out there, got him in good field position to set up shop. Let's see if they can maximize this opportunity.
And they will bring Hill back in along with Howard, with Rogers at quarterback. Rogers rolls out to the right. Has all kinds of time. Now Anderson comes on, puts a big hit on him. They look for the tight end, and they got it to the corner of the end zone. Officials yet to make a call. Touchdown, Philpott.
Yeah, the play originally, he just extended the play a la Ben Roethlisberger, kept going. 2 receivers ran into each other and in the same area. Then they finally got away from each other, and the tight end was uncovered. He threw the rainbow, and it lands in his hand on the corner end zone.
28-yard touchdown to the big 6'3", 254 tight end.
I tell you, right there,
Philpott
running into each other, and then he just comes uncovered. Then he just heaves it up to the tall guy. He's an athlete.
He is. I mean, Philpott right inside the pylon. Hard to believe that he couldn't play somewhere for somebody.
He'll help somebody on the next level, I'm sure.
35-24, 2 Daphne turnovers, 2 one-play drives following them for touchdowns. And Opelika back in this one, down 11. Opelika takes advantage of the turnover, and it's now 35-24.
Hey, Vic Lockett trust me when I was saying, what do you do with a big lead as a coach in the playoffs? I said, no, they're not thinking about that yet. You're right, Vic. There's no reason to think about that because Opelika comes screaming back.
Well, I've said all along, I mean, we've seen some teams that weren't so well put together, and I think this group is put together well. They're just playing Daphne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
they've scored 14 in a row.
Yeah, they got a lot of heart. You know that because they, you made the point, they could have packed it in right before halftime.
Yeah.
It was 35-10. Instead, they made the drive down, and now they onside kick it. The ball is loose, and I believe Opelika's got it.
Look at that sideline.
Think life's in that sideline.
Opelika football.
I hadn't seen an indication yet. I see a player with it.
The ball
Come on, Zebras, give us something.
The ball went.
Hey, the offense is huddling up for Opelika. They're going to come out there and snap it.
Yeah, Daphne defense out on the field. You kind of thought maybe the onside kick was coming. Goes through the hands. And then, as Ted Nugent would say, it's a free-for-all at the bottom of that one.
It's a free-for-all, and Opelika's just got the numbers.
And they got a little momentum.
A lot of momentum.
Right now as well. So Rogers, as you look at Glenn Vickery, not happy with his special teams there.
A lot of big plays on special teams tonight, guys, huh?
Here's Hill trying to get to the outside. Ooh, big hit put on at the 45-yard line. That was Trey Jenkins in there along with Jalen Coleman, the sophomore. Jenkins, the junior, has played well at safety tonight.
Who's got that build of Turner from the Falcons?
Yeah.
You know? Powerful.
Rogers makes a move, able to get around Jenkins and throws that one nearly intercepted as it went through the hands of Jenkins.
And again, you see the athletic ability of Rogers. Just, stop and start, go up under the rush, and still try to complete the pass.
Pat Greenwood.
Well, Trey Jenkins is a guy that I believe blew the coverage on that touchdown a little while ago. So he's a man that has something to prove on this series. He's doing a heck of a job, isn't he?
3rd and 8 from the 44. We'll put Philpott in at fullback, and now they give it up the middle, and Howard is stopped. He got maybe one.
Nice delay draw, well executed. Just that once it got past the line of scrimmage, Daphne reacted.
Yeah, you're right. The second time they used the delayed draw on the 3rd and long, we haven't seen much of that all year from anybody.
No, they execute that very well. I bet they run that quite a bit at practice in other games.
They're going for it on 4th down. 4th and 7, as that was Isaac Houston in on the stop.
Not a down and distance that suits them.
Looks like they get back in a run formation.
No, quick punt, quick kick. And they're going to try to down it deep, and it will around the 10-yard line. Well executed by Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, really good football right there.
Well, how about Coach Blackman having them executed?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they execute like the Spence McCracken teams that these Blackman kids grew up playing on out of Montgomery.
Hey, let me tell you guys, this Opelika bunch, this is a fine ball club. Fine ball club.
So Daphne now down deep in their own end. They'll start it at the 10. TJ Fleeton to Yeldon. Yeldon up the middle across the 15 out to about the 16-yard line.
Vic said, by looking at the stats, this is a gang tackling bunch.
Sure.
And that's been the case tonight. That's taken a village to make sure that Yeldon doesn't break something big.
And that's probably the only way you will get him contained a bit.
Yep.
But the more touches he gets,
you kind of wait for it, right?
I think everybody does.
The other shoe to drop, huh?
Yeah.
Play clock inside 10. There's Yeldon, big hit in the hole, and he spins forward to pick up a couple.
Yeah, very good hit by that linebacker coming in there and putting a helmet on him, 49 there.
Tommy Davis, their leading tackler.
Yeah.
We were alerted by Coach Blackman what a good player he was before the game, and watch him fill and stick and wrap up.
But again, Yeldon still spins and gets forward progress. Great what you want out of your back.
3rd and about 1.
That's good defensively, that's good offensively.
Wildcat formation.
Any guess what's going to happen?
McGaster in motion. Yeldon to keep it. Yeldon has the first down. Still on his feet to the 29-yard line. That looked like nothing, but he picks up 10 on the play.
That happens all night long with Yeldon.
You're right. Needed one for the first down.
Now he has gone over 2,000 yards on the season on that carry.
They had a lot of good blocking up there, including the fullback that we talked about, Clark Newsom. He was out there on the edge.
Probably got some grass or dirt in his eye. He squirt a little water or solution in there to clear it out.
And the Trojans will go with just Clark Newsom now in the backfield on 1st and 10. McGaster takes the handoff around the left side, waits for a block, and watch out. McGaster slips a tackle at the 40, and he steps out of bounds, but this one coming back as a flag at the 31-yard line.
Hold out on the edge.
Yeah, I thought it was a good block, but rarely you should be getting the corner, so.
And he had a lot of room out there.
Kind of like in the NFL, if a guy turns the corner, you know it's a holding.
They just don't allow that, do they?
No, you can't do it on that level.
Settle back Daphne up.
Be a 10-yard mark off back to the 21-yard line.
Thank you, Don English.
First down.
Yeah, he's got aspirations, I think, to go further. Don English, he wants to do it on a higher level.
He does it well.
Yeah.
1st and 20. 35-24, where we're at in this one. Play action to Yeldon. To the near side, wide open. McGaster slips as he makes that one. There was a lot of air under that one. McGaster came back, made the stop, so they'll pick up about 12, maybe 13.
Yeah, and these Daphne receivers are finding space downfield. I mean, they're getting separation. Another reason that Fleeton's numbers are pretty good. He's got people open.
And they look at the football in and catch it.
Yep. Yep.
They pick up 14.
They've got things downfield if they choose to go that way, Jim. And that, again, has got to do with everybody up on the line. Look at this. for Yeldon.
Yeah, look at all 11
within 5 yards.
Up in the box, and they pitch it to Yeldon on the near side, and Yeldon is going to be close to a first down, maybe a yard short.
You put all your chips up in the middle there, you better get them.
Well, Tommy Davidson hadn't held on there. That looked like it was going to be something special.
Right.
Yeah, and I think they're just saying that, hey, it's just much more likely that Yeldon's going to beat you than somebody else. So, as you said, put it all
the chips in,
on Yeldon. So they'll bring in the big heavy package here with Ryan Anderson.
Play action out of this would get you something wide open.
Yeah, they are coming up tight again.
Third and less than one now.
This is
Yeldon can pass it now.
Yeah, Yeldon is shotgunning. He can throw it. He takes a step in like Tebow, backs up. Just a thought.
McGaster split out on the right side. He'll go up the middle, and he's going to have the first down.
Across the 40 to the 41-yard line. That is a Trojan first down.
Yeah, just keeps those legs driving. He had a hit there right at the line of scrimmage, but he kept those legs churning. Get him some more traction, and forward progress gets him to kick the sticks.
As we said, Yeldon has gone over 100 yards in every game this year.
He's teetering a little bit under that tonight, right?
He's getting close. He's getting close.
Opelika playing the defense the way they should. Everybody's staying home.
23 carries for 90 yards for TJ so far. Of course, Yeldon also had that big 375-yard night against Fairhope. Fleeton looking down the sideline for McGaster and overthrown and incomplete.
McGaster was not really running on that one. Didn't think it was going to come to him. But, hey, guys, anytime you have Yeldon under 150, I call that a pedestrian night for him, too.
Yeah, I would call it a good job by the defense.
Sure. That's not,
But I would
his bar is 200, I think.
Yeah, I would caution you like you did me when Daphne had the big lead that we still got a lot of football to go, so those numbers may change.
Yeah, sure. He's got plenty of time.
15 minutes of football left here. 6'2", 205 senior.
It's rare that he has to work into the fourth quarter. He's usually have his pads off. Thinking about next week for sure.
Oh, trouble with the snap. Fleeton able to grab it, then he's hit, and AG was barreling down on him, so he goes down.
Yeah, this defense ain't going to give you an opportunity to readjust too often. So if you miss on the first opportunity, you better just cover the football up, and that's exactly what he did. Just kind of lost his concentration, I think, with the back coming by and the football arriving right after.
AG will get credited for his 5th sack on the season. Going to Vanderbilt, as Dan said earlier.
4.2 GPA, son of Tommy Agee, former Auburn star.
3rd and 15 for the Trojans. Fleeton feeling some pressure, rolls out. AG there again, fires it, intercepted up the far sideline. Taylor, I believe, has got the pick. Taylor in for the score. No, it's Snipes, 43-yard reception, and it's Snipes coming up with his 2nd pick of the year.
Yeah, this Opelika group ain't going to go away easy, and I didn't see a receiver in the area.
Neither did I.
And, hey, they're going to take advantage of their opportunities if they get it. Well, you just see it. He throws it out here. I don't know who he was looking for or who was supposed to have been there.
Oh, way back.
Yeah, that was Sane, but it was way underthrown against his body. And then how about Snipes?
And what about that defense giving him a convoy into the end zone?
20, if this is PAT, is good. And it is 21 straight points by Opelika. It's 35-31. 2:08 to go in the 3rd. We got a good one in the Jubilee City. Turnovers by Daphne tonight, and all 3 have resulted in touchdowns, the last a pick 6.
Well, a good friend of mine, and his name doesn't come to me right now, told me earlier in the game, don't be so quick to put this one in the books. That was when it's 35-10, Daphne. And Vic Lockett, you were right on.
Well, there's some pride in that group over there. I'm telling you, this is a good-looking group, Opelika. They don't have any superstars, but they've got a super team.
Will Black on the right side, and Horace Johnson fair catches that one at the 36. So all the momentum, we thought they had the momentum after they scored the 2 touchdowns, then the pick 6. It's really all the momentum. But, Yeldon, he can kind of control that momentum a little bit. You were just saying at the break, you think
I guarantee
that's the recipe.
Is going to say, okay, enough's fooling around. Let's let our man take us where we need to go.
But I got to say this for Opelika, I don't know that you're fooling around as much as they've contained him, and so you can give it to him every time, and that's the strength of this defense and this team is this defensive line.
Yeldon on the right side looking to get outside, and he's got a hole, and he's at the 50, still on his feet, down to the 40, and he's over 100 yards for the evening.
That's the thing with Yeldon right there. You just get one seal block on the outside, and the run becomes a carnival. You don't know what's going to happen next.
22 yards.
You know what I mean? You're just sitting going,
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, your jaw's down thinking, what's he going to do?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Yeldon inside the tackles tonight. We haven't seen him bounce it to the outside all that often.
This was so dangerous out here, Jim. So many moves.
Yeah, he can hurt you many ways, inside, out, and lining out from wide out.
Pitch it off to Yeldon. Yeldon slowed up, slips another tackle, still on his feet. TJ Yeldon. Little senior leadership there with the football saying, I'm ready to go play next
Jim
week.
Cox, you can call his name before the play even starts. He's getting the football, bro.
Yeah.
He's the Trojan horse. But there's no secret about him because he is all across the state, well known. Take a look at him.
Well defended. It was well defended at the point, but he's able to make cuts and make people miss. People just can't defend that.
Well, at some point, you get tired of chasing him, too. Trying to tackle him up high. Tries to go on the left side. So we approach a minute to go in the third.
Now to the point where Daphne needs points.
Yep.
Not just the football. I mean, Opelika is on the charge here.
Hey, Pat Greenwood.
Yeah, I want to give some props to Ashton McQuitry. He's a left guard, and he's been pulling out to the right side. And part of the reason Yeldon's just that good, number one, but he's getting some great blocks from guys like McQuitry.
Yeah, McQuitry, 5'8", 290. You see him there.
I've known Ashton too. It's a little guy.
Trouble on the snap, but TJ has to go back and fall on it. So now you're going to have 3rd and long coming up for Daphne.
Same thing, lack of concentration there. He just kind of, not necessarily lack of it, but it just throws him off. He's looking at that receiver coming across. He's got to receive the ball. They may was going to even hand it that time to the receiver.
I remember when Ashton McQuitry worked with his mother when he decided to go out for football for the first time. Didn't know he'd have this good of a future.
Just a sophomore. 3rd and 16. Yeldon at quarterback.
Quit calling it Wildcat. He's just a QB, huh, Jim?
Yeah. He's Mr. Football.
He's whatever he wants to be.
Yeldon fires it over the middle, complete to the fullback Newsom. It's 1st down.
There it is. Yeldon throwing it.
Man, Coach Vickery hadn't been in this game a couple of weeks.
He's caught it, he's run it, he's thrown it, and he's blocked on a big long touchdown run.
20-yard completion to Newsom. And we'll go to the 4th, 35-31. We're through 3 in Daphne. Well, this game has taken a few turns.
Hasn't it, though?
To say the least.
Yeah.
It's the game of the week.
That's right.
You get Jim Cox out, you better put a show on.
35-31.
Or he won't come back.
And Greenwood, he gets an escort from his other show to this show.
Police escort.
And then from here, there's a chopper that's probably going to get him up to
his next job.
Yeah.
I don't know if he needs a chopper to coach CYO football in the morning. That might be a bit excessive.
His next job is at the Crystal on Moffett.
Pat Greenwood.
Hey, that shift doesn't start until 12:30.
Okay.
I got some time.
All right.
But
check your register.
Big game in the morning at 8:30. I don't get to sleep in tomorrow.
Oh, the big game. I thought the big game was at 7. Oh no. Oh, your big game. That's
Christ the King and St. Dominic. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's number 1 and number 2. Number 3,000ths of a point separate those two in the CYO BCS standings.
Is there another game?
I coach in the CYO, so I can say this. They've already dubbed it the Holy Bowl. Yeah, Patrick.
That's not right.
Oh, come on.
That's not right. Come on,
TJ Yeldon Gives it off McGaster on the right side with one guy to beat. McGaster trying to get to the edge, and he is cut down there.
Yeah, speaking of CYO, our good friend Paul Crane, I heard he was a little ill this week, and he's recovered very well.
Oh, good.
I think he...
Isn't he
like
the, it's kind of the commissioner of
yeah,
the...
he is.
I know he's associated with CYO.
Well, yeah, he runs in one of the true gentlemen that, sure, well, I've had a chance to know since we've been in town. He coached our son Zach at McGill-Tulane back in the late 90s.
2nd and 7. Yeldon on the right side, squirts through, looks for the pylon, and he's got it. His 3rd touchdown of the night. Stems the tide a little bit after 21 straight by Opelika.
Yeah, Vic Lockett said, give it to number 4. Vickery listening to what Vic Lockett says, and there you have the result.
That's all the other opposite direction.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Coach Vickery, he knows what he's doing. He's coached this level of football, and hey, you got a great player. You just let him handle the football.
That was a great finish to that run to get the ball in the end zone, but everything Yeldon does, it's just of no
second
effort.
nature.
It just looks like there's no effort being
second
exerted.
nature to the young man.
So smooth.
Got that innate ability. He's ready.
Roberts with a PAT, and it's 42-31, and as I said, that stopped 21 in a row that Opelika had put on the board.
Yeah, those turnovers, people talk about those for a reason, right? They were directly, in some ways responsible for that run by Opelika.
Yeah, and it is rare, you will win a football game at any level if you lose the turnover battle.
Oh, no doubt about it. You're at the point of no return when you get to 4 and 5, but where are they at? 3?
Yep.
No, close. Close, so.
Yeldon.
But if anybody can overcome the odds, is Coach Vickery and this group he's got here.
A little chilly tonight in Daphne, Alabama. Hello, darling.
Up.
They're happy that the Trojans have struck back.
Some other scores. Fairhope has rallied back. They lead Auburn 35-24.
That Fairhope offense is something.
How about UMS goes on the road? I think the last score I saw was like 56-0 against Greene County. UMS, the lower seed. Blunt continuing on, leading Jefferson Davis 34-12. 34-27, Murphy leading Carver Montgomery in the 3rd. Central Phoenix City has built their lead to 28-10 over Foley. 11-16 to go here. Numbers 2 and 3 in this matchup. Daphne, the number 2 seed. Kick to the near side. This one going to stay inbounds. No, it goes out of bounds.
Foley basically had to do what Opelika's had to do. They've had to travel up the interstate. If Opelika had to come all the way down from that region. No, Opelika and Phoenix City, almost sister cities. They're really close to each other. So it's just not easy to go that far on the road against a good team and hop back on the bus happy.
Well, if anybody can do it, it's probably UMS. And
they're doing it tonight.
They did it, and they may have went up there Thursday and practiced Friday morning.
Well, I'll tell you one thing too. Give them credit because they came off a disappointing loss to St. Paul's. Not being a region game, but they got it handed to them. They had to bounce back quick.
Also knew they probably wouldn't play anybody that good the rest of the way. Rogers to the near side, incomplete. Was trying to get that one off to Howard.
It almost looked like they were trying to do a back shuttle pass, but it was just short, and Jenkins made a good play.
And now he's 11:07 left.
Trey is one of those guys been all over the field for.
He has. Yeah, both games we've done.
Yep.
6 foot, 185 junior.
Again, if you're just joining us, Rogers, the leading receiver for this team, forced into action at quarterback as Calvin Bryant injured, and now they'll go with the Wildcat and put him at the receiver spot. And Howard trying to get to the outside. Lee slowed him down, and then he'll get finished off at the line of scrimmage as Daphne trying to pull that football out.
Yeah, DeMars Howard, he's going to figure out real quick you can't slow play these ends for Daphne. These guys will definitely in the play if you try to slow play it to the outside.
Take a look at our game summary there. How about this one, how that has changed around. At one point it was 35-10.
Sure was.
And then
And if you tell somebody the defenses were good, they wouldn't believe it looking at the score.
3rd and 9 for Opelika. Rolling out as Rogers comes to the near side, and great catch. Able to haul that in by Colquitt. Now they'll say out of bounds.
Well, he definitely caught it on the fingertips, and I was looking at his fingertips, not his toes, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
maybe
and he was
Kiosk can get us a good replay.
On the Daphne sideline, so they were saying clearly he was out, but Rogers.
And Jared says, as you wish, young man. And toe on the line.
It's a good call.
Great catch.
Great shot by Kiosk there in the crew.
Yeah, holding call there, and so Daphne will decline that on 3rd and 9, I'm sure.
Okay, so that wouldn't have counted anyway. Oh, wait a second.
Oh, defensive holding.
All right.
Wow. Daphne wishes they could decline that.
Yeah.
So the automatic first down.
So wait a second. You can't decline one that's against you.
Not in this league.
So
maybe in hockey.
They get bailed out, and here comes Opelika again. Hill with a little stutter step. Oh, and he's tripped up. He saw a whole big opening.
Well, I told
coming
you,
up, but Coleman made the stop.
A couple of plays. You can't slow play this defense trying to get outside. If you're going to get out there, you better get on your Honda and go, because this little hesitation right in here and then try to go outside, nope, they're going to be up to the task.
And I think he was as shocked as anyone that he was caught from behind.
Good little player.
Let me tell you, I've seen these Trojans play a game or two.
Fast.
Yes.
And some speed on top of that.
2nd and 9, and now a little too fast there as Greg Johnson moved too soon.
Yeah, he was ready to get his hat on the inside and try to seal his guy off. Some motion was coming this way, I guess.
2nd and 14 forthcoming.
Illegal procedure, 5 yards.
Off start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
One thing that Vic Lockett, I think what you see, Vic, is what we're all seeing tonight is Opelika, both teams, but certainly Opelika very well coached.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
No doubt about it.
Again, missing a quarterback, and to some degree they're running back.
In the backfield is Lee. Eric Lee ate that one up.
And then Ryan comes in to just get him some whipped cream on the top.
Yeah, those two ends, man. I'll tell you what, between what Viger does with their ends and Daphne.
Let me tell you, get out of the way of these guys.
3rd and 15 as they lose a yard on that one. You look at Lee, 6'4", 220 senior.
Great student.
Yep, off the charts GPA.
Well, I know his dad. He wouldn't accept anything less.
Rogers with pressure and throws it this side. Intercepted. Picked off Jalen Coleman. And credit that one to the pressure right off the bat.
Yeah, Rogers just still trying to fight. And, not having the experience being a quarterback, he's just trying to compete trying to make something out of too much there and just should have thrown it to the ground.
You got a quarterback that's a wide receiver. As a defense, you want to put pressure on that guy, right?
Yeah, and Abel broke through there and put the pressure on, and then Coleman, the sophomore, comes up with the interception, his first of the season. Yeldon up the middle to the 26.
A little simple dive play. Yeldon, gains 8 yards out of it? 7?
Yep, right up the middle. As we approach 8.5 to go. Play clock. They took forever to get it reset, and now they do. They give it to Yeldon on the left side. Yeldon inside the 20. That's going to be another first down for Daphne. We talked about Daphne and their playoff history here. We said they've only lost. How many times have they lost in the playoffs? They've been here 15 times in their 23-year school history. How many times they lost in the playoffs?
First round, you mean?
Yeah, first round. Only 3 times. To Blunt in '92. That's when they kind of started to get things ramped around a little bit. Then to Theodore, and just a few years ago, lost to Theodore. So Theodore with 2 of the 3 first-round wins. So they get in the playoffs, and they make something happen.
You're right. Because they're good. They're usually good.
Yeah.
And they usually have a high seeding.
Yep.
Get a game at home like tonight.
Of course, had that couple of years ago where they got into the playoffs as a number 4 seed and then went on to beat their rival Fairhope, who was undefeated at that point in the second round of the playoffs.
That was huge.
It's a program here at Daphne. 2nd and 10 for the Trojans. TJ Fleeton, junior quarterback, gives it off to Yeldon. Yeldon stood up around the 16. You're right. No matter what happens the rest of the way here, I think the way that Opelika has played against Yeldon really is not giving up the huge run and really made him earn. And he's had a great night. And I think how well he's been played against, and yet the numbers he's putting up speaks on both sides of the ball for the teams we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right, and they've done as good a job as you can do.
Yeah, and for him, I don't think it's a great night because, he's usually the 200, 250 guy. So...
yeah, he's just at 139,
Yeah, that's not his standard of play.
31 carries. McGaster on the right side.
Great cut underneath there.
So we'll bring up fourth down here for the Trojans. Do they go with the field goal, or do they?
If I know Vickery, he'd just say go ahead and get the points, stretch it out as far as he can.
Yep. He'll bring on the kicker, Jeff Roberts. This will be a 30-yarder.
An exciting player, McGaster, right there.
Yeah, that's Jonathan McGaster. He's a junior. From the right hash, Roberts. And it's no good. So it's 42-31 with 5:59 left.
The Alabama High School Athletic Association reminds fans that we all play a role in the education of our students. Parents, fans, and folks in the community all set an example for students, whether they are aware of it or not. So help set a positive example in everything you do, both at the games and in your community. Good sportsmanship is what sets your school apart. That's a message from the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
I would add in traffic as well. When you're in traffic, you're also setting an example.
Well, you've set some examples that I've seen that stunning and not to be followed by anyone.
Well, I tell you what, that message is more than just for the high school kids that are watching this game. That message can be reverberated between everybody.
No, you're right about that.
And I love the camaraderie, and I like to see good sportsmanship, and just look out for your fellow man.
Daphne has to take a timeout there. So with 5:59 left, Opelika with the ball, down by 11.
Glenn Vickery would have loved to see that thing go through. It doesn't, so it keeps things a little interesting. You're still up by 2 scores if you're Daphne, but
right.
We figured out that Opelika isn't going to take a knee anytime soon.
No, they're not anxious to get on the bus and go back with a loss. They got some fight in that group, and that coach over there, he's got them ready to go as well as he can. He's maximizing his talent as well.
Second most points that Daphne has given up this year, 38, the most they gave up to McGill.
And they ended up on the short end of that stick.
And 42 matches the season high. Up 34, the most given up this year. Coming in at tonight's game for Opelika as they give it off. That's Tyler Jones.
Yeah, trying to get some misdirection, thinking the ends are going to be sleeping on the job. But, Coach Vickery's got them coached up, read their keys, stay home, and play football.
You know what else we got, guys? Playoff weather.
Cool. Little nip in the air.
Yeah.
Little Chicago down south. Jim's loving it.
Not a chance. As Howard gets up now, third and about, we're going to call it 3rd and 8. Coming up here, Opelika and 5:22. You start to be Opelika and start to figure out we're not going to get the ball back many more times in this one.
Well, they've kind of conceded that their game isn't just spreading it out and passing it. So they're just hoping one of their guys can break one like we're used to seeing Yeldon do on the other side.
Look at that concentration by Jenkins, the safety. one of the quarterbacks of that defense, they're going to be looking to snatch something here. As Opelika throws, and it's not something they like to do.
Fulton comes in motion. Rogers rolls out, able to get away from Batiste. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to be just shy, I believe, of the first down, but he did step out of bounds. They'll bring up 4th and short. That was a good decision by Rogers to pull it down there. Thought he was going to get the first down, but then the speed of that Daphne defense closed it in.
Sure. They can run.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4th, and we'll call it 4th and 2. Rogers on the right side, hit and driven back. Anderson and DeQuan Abel there. And 4th down, they stop it.
Just power football with a counter trade there. Just go mano a mano and say, hey, we wanted more than you do, but turns out Ryan Anderson wanted it more than they did.
Yeah, Abel, the first one in there.
Abel, Anderson's fighting off a block, and Abel with the penetration, he gets the wrap, and Anderson
gets to clean up.
Yeah, he gets to clean up, and Trojans got the ball again with a chance to eat some clock and maybe score some more.
TJ Yeldon, he'll hold on to this one. And Yeldon, look at him just pull the pile inside the 15. And the ball came loose, and Opelika is saying they have it. And the official, after a 16-yard pickup, says no, so it's a first down for Daphne.
As you take a look at 6'2", 205 at work on that last play.
Hey, we want to congratulate Tori Agee, the Scholastic Athlete of the Week from Opelika. 4.2 GPA, as Dan mentioned, also part of the Opelika Symphony Band.
That's something.
Going to Vanderbilt.
But the kid could just be a little well-rounded.
1st and 10, and TJ Yeldon slips it through the backfield, and Yeldon in for another score.
Yeah, they got a little bit lazy there from the backside, and you know that's Yeldon's game there. He wants to get your momentum going one way, and he wants to use your body going against you.
He does it as well as anybody we see.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Marcus Allen-S. I mean, that's who he reminds me of, that guy doing that.
4 touchdowns for TJ Yeldon tonight.
He's fun to watch. Boy, he does compete, too. How about the run before that? That said about everything you need to know about TJ Yeldon.
Sure.
That was a 16-yard run. Probably 11 were with people on his back.
Roberts with the point after, and it is Daphne 49-31. Looks like they're moving on to face Prattville in round 2.
Davidson 3.
49-31. TJ Yeldon with 4 touchdowns on the night, 150.
He's not a very demonstrative superstar. You never know it. This looks like the guy at the end of the bench from all his body language.
Been there, done that before.
Yeah. I like that about him. Old school.
McGill 35. Dothan 14.
So, we talked about in some of our other games, Opelika expending a lot of energy, trying to get caught up, trying to catch. You start trying to chase a team like this, and it's tough. Roberts on to kick off here, and we're down to 4:02. A lot of points in this game. 80 to be exact. The 15 and pushed out of bounds. I want to congratulate our Daphne Scholastic Athlete. Jacob Olmsted, the senior, 3.85 GPA, plays soccer and football. Not sure where he's going to go to school, but he's going to major in psychology. And Coach Vickery said then he's going to come back and help his old coach out.
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to major in psychology. He's going to come back and watch our games and say, what are those knuckleheads all about?
He'll give us a card.
Group session.
Yeah. You three on the couch. Kihas, you're next. Rolling out, Rogers just wants to chuck it up the near side, looking for Fulton, the sophomore, and
Pass intended for number 86.
it's well beyond his reach. So now you start to think about Daphne Prattville.
Yeah, you do.
You
do. Of course, Prattville. They did not have the struggle that Daphne had. They had a 3-7 Alma Bryan team coming in there. They got on top of them quickly, and that thing was over. So Daphne's had to play a full 4 quarters tonight.
Right. 2nd and 10.
And Prattville, a team that Opelika beat.
Yep,
right?
16-14 earlier this year.
Compare some scores.
This one dropped.
Incomplete pass intended.
So we'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Shaquille Mitchell.
They're now trying to get back in this football game by passing. They're not real comfortable doing that, huh, Dan?
Yeah,
but they've got to at this point.
Yeah, and you got your best wide receivers playing quarterback right now, so that's a tough one.
They've made enough plays to come back and hang around, though.
Sure.
Give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, they've made this an interesting competitive game, and 3:42. It's not too late for them to change the outcome as well.
Rogers has some time as Daphne has a lot of pressure, and that one overthrown. And it's tough to overthrow Philpott at 6'3", but that one over him, and Daphne with only rushing 3, dropping everybody back in coverage.
He's also open. Philpott,
he found the hole.
Big target.
Found the hole in the defense, kind of set down in the middle. Didn't want to keep running and wanted the rainbow. He just wanted to kind of drop it in his basket, but he overshot it.
Interesting looking athlete, Philpott. Big tight end H-back.
Yeah, it looks like just a football player.
He does.
That's what I'll call it.
4th and 10. Rogers rolls out. Coleman came on the blitz. This one going to be picked off on the near side. McGaster comes up with a pick as that one hung up in the air, but you really can't fault Rogers on that, but he's just trying to make something happen on 4th and down.
Yeah, he's
4th and
just
10.
competing, and he's even jumping in the air, throwing the football, and that's hard to even do when you set up.
Little ball boy gets flattened here. If you watch right here,
saw
boom,
that. Yeah.
There you go.
Watch the kids crossing the street.
Boy, McGaster with the interception and McGaster with the
Yep.
Actually, that's the
kick
second
return.
time that's happened tonight, Dan.
Yeah, the ball boy. I saw him
Yeah.
the last time. That was Abel, I think, ran him over the last time.
Well, I'd rather get run over by McGaster than Abel if I had my choice, but
And now we'll see T.J. Yeldon stays on the sideline as Josh Johnson comes in. As we're approaching 3 minutes left here. And Glenn Victory's starting to do some substituting. Auburn has rallied.
2nd and 5.
And they now lead Fairhope 42-41.
shoot out.
Central Phoenix City going to end Foley's year. Murphy beats Carver Montgomery, so you got a Murphy-McGill matchup in round 2 as Sheffield Washington, the sophomore, on the carry here.
Yeah, that's got to be among the candidates for our game next week.
Yeah, it'll make the second time in 3 weeks those two teams have played.
Yeah, McGill's only loss of the year, of course, after the big win against Daphne. A little flat against Murphy.
Yeah, how often does the cannon get a chance to get painted twice in 1 year?
Well, I heard there was some disappointment that the Murphy kids really didn't get at it and paint it all up like they normally do.
Wow.
Yeah. Lack of focus.
Well, Greenwood probably got a moratorium or something put in.
Panther Nation got to step up.
3rd and 1.
We'll milk the clock.
All the way down to 3. Did you hear a whistle? I thought I heard a whistle.
Yeah,
I
it
did too.
was a random whistle.
Was it the kids in the stands or was it the zebras?
That's a first down for Daphne.
Nothing on the field to indicate there was an early whistle, so kick the sticks, first down, Daphne.
Yeah, now Daphne can just really try to work the clock down, and they'll send somebody back deep to make sure. And Josh Johnson, I think, running back, gets in there. I think he wanted to carry the ball a few more times. Johnson, a junior, but Glenn Vickery happy just to take a kneel down here.
Coach Stallings used to say this is his favorite play right here.
I understand why.
Yeah.
It should have been Joe Pisarchik's favorite play. But it wasn't that one day at the Meadowlands.
You talking about with Herm Edwards?
I was going to say Herm Edwards, the one who, the recipient of that. So Daphne goes to 10-1, 7-1 for Glenn Vickery in first-round playoff games here. and he becomes the all-time winningest coach in Daphne history.
Congratulations to Glenn Vickery, and as Vic Lockett's been saying all night, they know what they're doing over here in Daphne.
Oh, sure.
They've got a clue. Coach Glenn Vickery took a lot of time with us this week to...
His son Mike on the staff.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of staff, I mean, I've talked to this guy, and hey, he not only works hard for the kids, he works hard for the fellow coaches. I mean, I've seen him get on the phone to me and give me a whole lot of heck by getting some hospitality for the coaches. So he's a good football man. And
all the way around.
We're blessed to have him in this area working with our young people.
So Daphne will have to just snap it one more time here. And then this one will be handed to Opelika. Boy, they came in here tonight and
real impressed.
I think sometimes as a coach or a team, you look at it and sometimes you say, you know what, they might have just been a better team, but we certainly gave it everything we had here tonight.
Sure, they left it on the field, and that's all you can expect from your kids. And hey, Coach Blackman's got a bright future as well. Someday he'll be like Coach Vickery.
Both those Blackmen.
Sure.
Yep. 49-31, your final score. 7-3 is how the Bulldogs end the year. Daphne moves on at 10-1. And
like Coach Vickery is saying, it's not time to go play basketball just yet.
Not yet. Don't want to put the pads up.
I like the way he said that.
They are used to playing football deep into November here in Daphne. So,
yeah, it's become expected over here, ain't it, Jim?
No, without question.
You know, and a lot of guys coming back. They lost some. There's Blackman coming over to find Glenn Vickery, but you know they lost some players, but they got a lot back from that state championship team. So a lot was expected this year. Of course, ranked number 1 most of the season.
And they've been in so many big games, so many playoff games that pay such dividends. And so wait for Coach Blackman to. He was looking over there for Coach Vickery, and
you know it's got to be tough for the losing coaches, but you know, hey, they show great sportsmanship and congratulate each other.
All right, let's go to Pat Greenwood. Pat.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. First, these guys made a hard charge at you. You knew they would. What does it say about your kids that they were able to hold them on?
Well, you know, we're proud to win the game against a very good Opelika team. And, you know, it's you got to play every play. And our kids did. They fought. You know, we gave up some plays, and we scratched back. And, you know, you can't give it up. I mean, one thing you want to teach kids is just every play is a big play. Do your best, play your best, try your hardest. And I feel like we did on most plays. And so you can't give up on the Trojans. You got to keep playing.
TJ's a super player, but how have you seen him progress this year?
Well, you know, he's done. He's gotten stronger, and as a player from running inside, you know, as a 9th or 10th grader, he liked the outside, and now, as you see and you guys see, I know the experts Dan and Jim see, and Vic, that you know he'll run anywhere, and you know he has a lot of confidence in himself and our team, and it's a credit to our team that he's able to do that.
Now you are the winningest coach in Daphne history. What do you say about that?
That don't matter. I don't care anything about numbers, baby. I just care about that scoreboard, and we get to play another week, and you know it's all about the kids. I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you anything about numbers other than, hey, we're 10-1, and we live to play another week, and it's all about these kids having another week of football.
No basketball yet.
For somebody.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Hi, guys.
You know, Daphne continues to be impressive. 10-1 with a big win here tonight, and Opelika finishes up the year. But you know, this Daphne Trojan team, I still think that they're the team, especially defending 6A state champions. They're the team to beat coming out of the South.
Well, you know, they've got experience. They've been there. They've done that, you know, so nothing's going to shock them. They're used to being in big football games. They've got the number 1 player in the state. So you can expect them to be in it till their last.
They'll be in a big one next week.
Ooh, they sure will. They go on the road to Prattville, a hostile environment to play in, but Prattville with a win over Bryant tonight. And Daphne and Prattville, a little playoff history there between those two schools. And we'll be with you next week as well, as we'll have round 2 playoff action here on UTV 44. But our final score here tonight, the Trojans winners 49-31. They move on to round 2, and we'll see you next weekend right here on UTV 44.